Thank you very much. There's Sharif and Joe dropping that options knowledge. I love the Q&A, giving Joe those fantastic questions. Obviously, DJT's moving around here, as you can see. Sharif all over that one. I'm actually in it myself, kind of the same mean reversion. Well, I don't know. It's about the same entry point, but it might have been a different idea in terms of why we're getting into it at this level. It had nothing to do with the $30 level for me. But yeah, it's a runner. Like, just treat it like any other meme-ish type of name. Treat it. It's not the same structurally as a GameStop, but limited amount of availability of shares. You've got a pretty decent short float, at least from the sources that we can find here. It could be as much as 15. I've seen 20 in other places as well. But now you're getting a pullback in here as well. So DJT up that 15 points today. The market's having a strong one. Pretty much just about everything is looking relatively strong, with the exception of a few chip names. And we'll get to the likes of AMD, which is not participating in this move. Nvidia looking incredibly strong. This NASDAQ looking pretty good. But I'm going to get out if this thing breaks out 29.5 there. So let's see what happens. DJT, 15 points. Wow, wah. And I feel as if on election night, and we saw when Tesla had that Cybertruck event, or it's not Cybertruck, the Cyber Taxi event, in the aftermarket, Blue Ocean was nuts. There's some successful traders here at Real Trading that were trading that. I'm going to make a educated guess that on election night, DJT on the Blue Ocean market is going to be heavily, heavily traded by a lot of day traders and probably going to go parabolic one way or the other. It's going to move, I'll promise you that much. But we got time till then, specifically only a few weeks, and DJT's on the mind.
Yeah, we're still in the, welcome everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my Canadian and our Canadian viewers out there, of course, as we go now 2 o'clock, only 2 more hours left in the US market open, and then we go into the aftermarket where stocks will still continue to trade. We haven't looked at any banks. I don't know, we'll have to look at that to see if there's any continuation. We get some big bank reports tomorrow as well, but FXI, thank you so much to FXI. Right there, so it fell back in. We did get some nice low prints on this thing. We've been waiting for this to happen. We'll still be in this short here as the market gets into. Hopefully, I don't know. Right now, the market's not doing anything, but I think that's a great one there. I don't know if you hit that or Fabian, but that was a good one. Wake up right now, because this is what the market's doing. So we'll stay in the China short. I mean, the China short is working as the market is going down. So remember when all this nuts, I mean, it was 6 trillion yuan or billion, please do not quote, I can find it for you. But anyways, it was announced and we got stopped out right there, putting us red on the name, but now we are back into Greensville. We don't have any red names today, so I'll be interested to see what this, what this board looks like very, very soon. And answer your questions, man. Palantir, what a monster that was, creating brand new 52-week highs. I hope this is on the board today. We'll talk about that. And of course, we're in the dollar club right now with Nvidia, but light shares over there. So, all right, Sharif, looking sharp in that shirt, my guy over there. Give us that first name.
We got to welcome everybody first, Sean. Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. As you saw, Neil and Sean, they're ready to go, baby, locked and loaded, and ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So join us during the midday and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day, but only the top 5 make it on. Here's a look at the triple Q, Sean. Good luck here. 0.75% for the NASDAQ. Similar look for the S&P, the ES up 0.7. The Dow about 0.5%, and lagging behind all the others is the Russell, but still green, up 0.33%. So good look for the indices today. Here is the number 1 ticker as decided by you. Kind of no surprise there. We've been talking about it a lot on the midday show. Looks like there is a reason it's moving up after all. Trading higher is DJT after the company announced the launch of its Truth Plus TV streaming service, guys. That's worth, I guess, 17.5% on the day.
Oh, that's the reason. I thought the reason that it was up had more to do with the fact that Trump was leading in the polls and gaining momentum, because I thought that was continuation from Friday. Sorry, I think it was actually, no, it was earlier last week. It wasn't Friday that official. Sometime last week, probably earlier in the week, that Trump had either pulled close or pulled ahead in some of the betting sites. So maybe you had another headline that gave it a little bit more juice, but that 29.50 just came through. So I was playing a mean reversion off of the 30 level. I didn't really have anything to do with the 30 level. It had more to do with the trend. Here, I'll show you guys this trend here. Since it broke the high of the day, that trend broke, shorted the consolidation there, got some out at 29.25, some at 29 even, but it just took those 50s out. In the chat, everyone's like, everyone's going to get out when it breaks 29.50. I'm like, yeah, because the stock could go anywhere from here. $30 is just a round number. I don't know that you have anything obvious that stands in the way. I'm just going to pull up the weekly chart so you guys can get a quick look at where this might be headed just in terms of levels. Because at this point, they don't really matter as much as when they did when it was down at the $20 level. 35, 45, 46. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like when you were down underneath the $20 level, like you had some actual serious things to chop through. Now there's 30 and then air on DJT. But you have still some time till the election. Not really following through to the $30 level. Not a whole fest either. I'd probably look for, if it breaks the 30, just confirm buyers out and above it before looking to jump back into the long trend. Because since it broke this trend in here, it can always establish a new upward trend. Maybe join there to there and see if it can hold on to said upside. But yeah, DJT, cheap locates for us. But this was the one shot I had waiting for the mean reversion trade. So in and out, we'll wait for it to set another.
Why didn't I look at SMCI? People are talking about SMCI. Look, man, the only thing I looked up was the price of puts today on DJT. So I just made a keystroke error. I got out of Sofi up here at $10. We're going to talk about Sofi in a minute. So let's go back over to Sharif and then, Fabian. And then we will figure out more. And then you can go, Fabian. We'll just go to Sharif quickly, come back. All right, Sharif, go.
Yeah, Sofi, good look, Sean. Obviously up almost 11% here. Good look for today. Good look for multiple days. Saw that there is the golden cross that happened on the daily. Keep an eye out for that. But specifically today with the headline, the company announced a $2 billion loan platform business agreement with personal loans and funds managed by affiliates of Fortress Investment Groups. So just basically summarize this for you. They are getting the clients and then they're referencing those clients or sending them to other lending institutions. So they're just getting a cut off the top. Good luck, $2 billion secured.
First of all, yeah, $2 billion. It's a lot of money there, is it? I don't know. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stuffing and stocks right there. Shout out to my lovely wife for putting that together for me. All right, so here we go. We wrote it down here, man. Sofi, it's a pretty easy situation. 950 long, play dips. It's on today's sticky notes. So Travolta's like, hey, man, you're not checking this out, then what's up with that? But there it is right there, 950 long. It is going to be P&L number one. We talked about that, and it started P&L number one right away. We also talked here, guys, about dip buying into this. So let's just talk about what the situation is. There it is right there, play the dips. 17% short interest into this name. And look, it's really got going. I mean, similar to DJT, honestly, like not that one's similar in the way they function, but in the way the stock just gets going. You don't necessarily stop these things. We've seen Clover, we've seen a lot of different names just continue to go to the upside. And that's what's happening right now to Sofi. So it was on our radar today. Why? Again, we weren't here on Friday when it also had a great day, but it was breaking above. And that's why I was like to Neil, like, what levels are we looking at here? Because that 920 right there really was something. All I wrote down early on today was that we really wanted to play back into VWAP. The thing is that the way it fell, it basically, this was all in the first minute. It didn't even give us too much of an opportunity to worry about anything. Like, it just kept on falling back in. Once it broke through VWAP there at 960, like that's where we started taking the bid. At that time was 970. So we wrote down 950, which is right here, and the bottom is 8 cents lower. So we're not punching out a Sofi for an 8 cent loss or anything like that. So we'll let it keep on ripping to the upside right there. And then we just got out at 10. I wanted to hold it. I made a mistake on my stop, and it punched me out immediately, which is fine. We only had 10% left. But at the end of the day, I'm taking this break as well. 10.08 long. It's up 11%. We can go higher. If it breaks that and doesn't go, we have outs, right? We can get out at 10. We can get out right here on the fail of 995 or so. So I like the break higher, and I think we can get it. So Sofi right there, man. It's your number one stock for a reason. And there it was right there, right into the levels that we liked. And if you like a stock that goes to those levels, you're supposed to put on risk. And that's what we did. So Sofi today, a banger. And we haven't traded this name probably in months. At least I haven't. And there it goes right there, my number one stock. So it's setup, it's confidence, it's execution, and it's SoFi.
Yeah, SoFi, that's $2 billion agreement. It's done 3.4 million sales for SoFi. So it's not an insignificant story. That was in the pre-market that came out. If you go up to like the daily chart, just going to show you what we had when we tweeted it out. If you go up to the daily chart, this is $9.50. It was like the only thing out in the ether in terms of a big level out and around here on SoFi. So that's where it came from. And it dipped into 950. I was out when it trailed underneath here. I could draw you a trend line, but suffice to say it broke the trend line. So if I'm going to put a trend line to get out, sometimes I'll put that as a place to add because I'm stopping out there anyways or trailing out there anyways. So that's what we did. The $10 looks fantastic. On a weekly chart for SoFi, this has easily more to do. Like the 200 period, like you've broken one level out. But when you pull up this weekly, certainly if it gets about like $11.5, $12, can get up there. It's almost like you have a second break that's looming here on SoFi. It's still actually holding the lower consolidation on a weekly chart, despite the fact that it's breaking out on that daily. So 11% here. I think it's got much more to do. First step would be to close above that 200 period on the weekly. That's very possible. It's very possible this week, to be honest with you. I think it could happen. But until it does, I think that next leg would be closing above the 200 period on the weekly, and then it can finally start to do some, I guess, bigger moves because really it's been lagging so long. Yeah, it's nice that it's up from $7, but shoot, like in the time that it went from 7 to 10, I feel like it was more than a double up on Robinhood, which we're comparing it to. So there's some catch up for it to do to some other cohorts.
Not sure what's going on with MicroStrategies here, guys, but now it's down about 3 1/5, and it filled the entire gap up. And had positive comments today from Barclays. It looks like analyst Ramzi Lassel basically maintaining the overweight rating and boosting the price target from 173 to 225. So good look. And here's the look at IBIT, the BlackRock spot ETF for Bitcoin. It's not giving up the ghost in the way that MSTR is. In fact, this one's still up about 4.5%. Not so though, guys, for MicroStrategies.
So, sometimes you have to make an educated guess as to why, when all the Coinbase is strong, Bitcoin holding above 65,000, there was no pullback in Bitcoin overall. But MSTR, if it was outsized on the way up, like it was very clearly on Friday going, going crazy, outpacing any
what
move.
it was doing?
Well, I would say something else. Like let's put it this way. Whatever adjective you would use to negatively describe the performance of the Dallas Cowboys is an adjective that you could use to
MSTR might have something to say about that.
Positively describe the move of MSTR on Friday. Okay. So as bad as the Cowboys
by the way,
were yesterday.
Jets, okay, I just want to say, tonight you
got a problem with that, Sharif?
You're.
Oh, we're having fun.
Sharif knows. I think they lost their confidence when the youngest team in the NFL went into their home last year on playoffs and beat them unexpectedly as an 11-point dog.
I hope. Okay.
But okay, the thing is that tonight is a big game.
Whoa, big game.
No, because what if they don't win? I mean, then Sharif is going to be like, all over Neil is what I'm saying, because it's Bills Jets tonight. So
if the Buffalo Bills lose tonight to the Jets, I will take all the shellacking that I know you guys are happy to give to me. But here's the problem.
Is there any magic left in Aaron Rodgers? I say no.
I'm going to run my mouth as much as I can because it's not going to happen. So I will talk all the trash in the world.
In Buffalo too, I think.
So here's, Buffalo tonight is MSTR on Friday.
That's better. Yeah, there we go.
Dallas last night is MSTR today. So that's the only explanation I have for the stock. I went for the long break in this and Mara, and it's like, this was when we got in right in here. It broke 225.50 on MSTR. Thank goodness we got out. Maybe it was a short at that price. It got back to that price and then flushed. So I was going for the break continuation. Lit grab underneath the bottom, break the local high. Okay. If you did something similar to that on Friday, it ran $15 for you. So the way I saw it was kind of worth risking about $1 in there. We took the shot and it missed. What's weird about it is, now, Mara's not great because Mara came all the way back eventually, but at least it's still up, 7%. We had 2 longs on Mara. The first one was the break that didn't work, and then that consolidation above the breakout price, 17.20. It got to 17.80. I mean, I was already out on this wick, and then it eventually got to 18. Now this pullback is like it's back, it's underneath where we reloaded it, but still holding on to the $17 level. So the miners somehow doing better than MSTR and spot. But the crazy thing is, you take all that away. Now Mara's having a fantastic day and MicroStrategy's having a weak one, but it's Coinbase. Like today, Coinbase is the one. Coinbase is the one up 10% today. 10 points. It's broken out on this daily. The other fun part about it is it's yet another breakout and support level found after the death cross. So Coinbase had a death cross right in here. I'll call it like the 19th, or technically maybe it's like the 20th. Since then, that has been dip support on Coinbase. So you flash a big sell signal, and it's just breaking out in gorgeous. So yeah, maybe step away from that MSTR because Coinbase is on one today. I mean, I was on Mara, and it probably, it's easy enough to say, okay, you jump into Coinbase, but I like the level at 17 on Mara, so that's the one I traded. And yeah, they're blowing it out right now. They're actually at the high of the day, ready to take out another fresh one.
I was looking because my brother got me this. This is the Josh Allen one. Oh my God, there's a DAC one right there. Okay, I'm trying to find.
Was that Purdy or McCaffrey? I couldn't tell.
23 McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
No. It's not. No. This is for something different. This is a display of them all, I think. Yeah, no. I'm going to try to see if I can find a J Love one over here. But anyways, okay. What? This guy, Brett Favre? That doesn't look anything like Brett Favre.
That's ridiculous.
Is that Brett Favre?
Come on, man. That's not.
That is not it.
That's not Brett Favre.
I just looked at the bottom. It's from Party Animal. So I'm going to, if anybody has, oh my God, Josh Allen's eye is coming off now? All right, anyways, Party Animal.
Well, don't scratch at it.
Right there. No, it's coming. It's like it's starting to just come off. Anyways,
That's
all right. Stay
Josh Allen's so tough he doesn't need his eye.
Yeah, stay chill out there, Josh Allen.
No, he probably does.
You would need vision to be a QB, I would think. All right, so MSTR right there. Look, we talked about IBIT and what maybe that would be a trade, and I still like IBIT. I think if you're going to invest in something and you want to put it into I don't know. I mean, here we have our RSPs over there. You guys can put in different tax-free accounts or into a long-term holding. I mean, this is probably something that's been registered right now. This is a relatively new ETF, of course, IBIT. So if you want to hit that up, you can grab this. I like Bitcoin. I am a hodler of this, so I will be holding for a while on BTC and hoping for higher moves than what we have right now. So I am big on Bitcoin. I do think it gets, to 100 grand. It might even be there for the end of the year. So, let's just see what happens. I'm going to be interested to see at that next sort of high break right there. Oh, what just happened there? Oh, no. All right. So we must have got triggered out of something again on FXI, but we are now out of FXI. I don't see a bad wick there, but I didn't think I had a bid. Anyways, out of FXI right there to close that trade. So we'll get over there. But here comes Palantir.
Yeah, another one of your faves, Sean. Palantir having a good day, up 0.2%. But there was this double top. So we got to the high on Friday, breaching that 44.5. We got right back into that same level today, unable to take it, but well above $40 as we test that 44 area. But you're right, guys. Tonight's game is going to be really important. The Bills playing off tonight. And shout out to the Bills, man. I mean, look at this. They're unbeatable. They're unbeatable. They have not lost this season at all. They always do so well. Shout out to the Bills. Can't wait to watch tonight.
Ouch, Sharif.
That was in Baltimore, and Baltimore is a good team.
Baltimore got what? That was 3 times the points it looked like over there?
It was so 35-10 versus what? 49-7 in Dallas. In Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay? What are we even talking about?
The in Dallas part is the part that's...
I mean, first of all, nice try. I appreciate it. You're going to throw all the hate out there if you want to. Okay, well, let me get to the super chat in here first, because thank you very much, Nick Dubs. I'll let Sean talk about PLTR. I was going to go over, but then lesson of the day was sometimes if you're looking for a level when you can't find one, if a stock is closed multiple days or multiple levels at the same price, it can be a good entry point. That was 43.5 today. But Nick Dubs, can you give us your thoughts on Qcom on the daily? I have a swing and think the 195 level looks like a good exit. So let me just call up Qualcomm. There you go, Qcom. Come on, daily chart. We'll throw this one up there for you. Appreciate you, Nick. And this is another one. Oh, yeah. See, I absolutely love seeing this. And again, if you use death crosses for entry points to go into short swing positions or shorts, then I'm sorry that I keep bringing this up because I find it gorgeous every time I see it. Death cross on the daily chart, stock breaks out, shorts probably trapped in here as it's making the breakout looming here. So this is 176. It looks like it just recently broke that, being at the 77 level. You said 195. Yeah, that's probably in here. Right, support to resistance. That makes all the sense in the world. You have the 50 period gone. You have the 200 period gone. You've got a consolidation breakout. You've got some shorts trapped because it was a downward trend with a death cross in there. Yeah, I like the look of that one. Qualcomm reports when? Should be...
They're left, November 6th.
Oh, there it is. I'm looking on the right side for some reason.
Where you just were.
Oh, there it is.
There, yeah.
In November 6th. So, yeah, you do have to weather that in less than a month. But it can, well, it's 3 weeks. Oh, it can get there. It can get there. There's something important happening. Reports on the 6th. There's something else which is really big happening around that time. It's slipping my mind right now. No, but I like that look, and I think it can get to the 195 before you have to worry about the earnings. If earnings were like next week, I think it'd be a different story for Qualcomm. Like maybe you'd want to have some kind of a profit take, but from there, maybe it slows down at the 80 level, and then 195 makes a ton of sense. I like the look, Nick Dove. We like these consolidation breakouts. When the market's making fresh highs, you want those things which are joining the party when they start to break out. I mean, there's nothing better than that because in a bull market, you want to find new places to go. Qualcomm looks like one.
All right, so we did not find any new places to go with Palantir. I mean, Palantir wasn't even on my radar today at all, really. So what wound up happening was when we were scanning for stocks, it was 10:30, and I was looking for stocks that were at the 200-period moving average. And Palantir hasn't been trading that well, to be honest with you. We were just able to get that bid right there through, well, it was coming back up because we missed. Like you see, like we miss it on the way down. We are looking, and again, we'll talk about eSignal. You can grab the link in description. And again, just a scanner came up. We're at the 200-period moving average. So there it was, breaking back up to the upside. We knew we liked the name. It already had made brand new 52-week highs and stopped exactly where it did on Friday, back up there at 44.44. So, I mean, yeah, it was a name that I liked, and it was just always going to be a scalp. We talked about that. All these outs. Well, first of all, we're long at 70. The first out is 80, so that's 10 cents. That's good. Then we run into the 50 period here a bunch of times. Then we get a couple more outs, and we hold 10%. A couple more outs at VWAP, which is fantastic. We hold for the moon. Doesn't happen. Get out on the 200 break again. So this one is easy day. For me, we're out of Palantir now. I don't know if we like this. I mean, we could draw. I mean, fancy lines are for fancy lines. It is what it is. It's like Travis Kelce said something about, I'm going to find that Travis Kelce line about statistics and all that kind of stuff, where he talked about all this stuff is really great, but it doesn't really matter until you're actually playing the game. And it's like we could sit here and talk and draw fancy lines and all that. Do you have the trade or not? Do you like the trade or not? This is what this looks like. The trend is higher. It's trying to break right now a little bit if we connect some of these. So to me, it's not super healthy right now. It's above VWAP. It's fine. But if the market's going to barcode, there's better, maybe bigger fish to fry right now. I don't know if there's better ones, but this is what the NASDAQ looks like. So for me, I'd much rather look at an ARM or an MSTR, a DJT, which I know you guys are screaming about. We're going to get to that in just a matter of seconds.
Yeah, breaking through 30. Last time I looked there, Sean, good look for DJT. Another good look for ARM. Well over 6% at the highs, coming down a little bit now into that 5 and change. No catalyst for this one. Trust me, I looked quite thoroughly, but we know that it's about 10% of the float that's actually being traded on the public market. So this one can move, guys. Already moving now.
It's been in an upward. It hasn't had a red day since the October 1st. So every single day this month, with the exception of the first of the month, this stock has been green. It's bouncing off the 50 period. I think it's maybe a few things. Trend continuation tends to go when sometimes when Apple will go, when handsets are looking like they're going to be strong there. They're in all of them. That's how they roll, get their licensing going on. But they went a little parabolic today, mostly because like all you do is go from step to step, and then when it breaks out of resistance, it goes like a you-know-what out of heck. But the 150 level, I mean, in utter hindsight, which it's all always hindsight, like when you're looking at things that you want to trade off of, like 230 on Apple was a solid break, but this high break on ARM on daily chart is better, more potential. bigger mover. It's supporting a 150 level in there. I was asked in the chat when I say something like a death cross or a golden cross, what averages am I using? So just simple moving averages in the 50 and the 200. As far as I know, that's what most people who trade off of golden crosses and death crosses, they're usually talking about the simple and the 50 and the 200. I just love when a stock shows you a long setup off of a death cross or a short setup off of a golden cross, because to me, it's like then there's people in theory trapped the other direction. For this afternoon, I think pretty clear. Morning range top 160. ARM right now trying to support the 160. Feel like if it loses that, it's going to be breaking a bit of a trend anyways. Just to go over, because I happen to be still in this one. Apple was a clean break through 230. It was then a dip off Friday's high, which I guess ultimately was also pre-market lows in there, and we're still sitting in it. It has yet to retake this 230.60 level. The same level that was essentially the lower high in the morning on Apple is the lower high right now. If we bust through that, I'm expecting we can see the top on AAPL. But yeah, ARM is an absolute beast. It's just that they're a little expensive on a PE basis. And so it's as quickly as it goes up, believe me, when it gets into like a slight downtrend, it moves down just as fast. But it's on one today, right now. I mean, no red days this month, with the exception of the first. Insane.
We did get back into FXI there. I'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, let's just... Ready, Fabian? There it is, right there. It is Trade the Pool. Despite how angry Neil is in the middle, make sure you give Trade the Pool an evaluation. Real traders using real company capital, no PDT rule holding you back. That's how they give you a true trading edge. Here's the exciting part. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program to evaluate stock traders like yourself. For a one-time fee of just $97, you'll receive $20,000 in buying power, and all you got to do is reach the profit goal. That's it, eh? The best part of this limited edition program is that they have reduced the profit goal and the minimum trade required to reach the funded phase. And the profit split has also been upgraded, so you keep 70% of all profits. You would want to, and I want to, check that out. Scan the QR code or click the link in description for more information, and it's right on your screen right now. Go check out Trade the Pool. As many of you know, Neil and I will trade here with Real Trading, and that's available, but unfortunately not available into the US. So check out Trade the Pool and go find out what they are all about. Yeah, and then, if you trade prop, you might have more of an understanding of some of the things that we're doing, just scalping in and out a little bit here, and taking smaller trades, some bigger ones. We do have $1 in the money right now on Nvidia. I want to welcome all of my Canadian friends today and say a happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. And I was saying to some of my friends when I was out and about, because we had some baseball talk to deal with, and I was like, oh, I'm at work, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you're at work, and so on and so on. I said, you know what? I would actually take this trade off to get the U.S.
Oh, it's not even close.
I mean, we get the Thursday. It's all the football. It's like,
yeah, but
for
your
me,
team plays, though. You guys still...
I think the Bills, the Cowboys always play, the Lions always play. The Packers do not always play. I think it's Cowboys,
it just
Lions,
feels like
sure.
It feels like they play a lot.
Yeah,
the Bills played once in the last couple of years, but, I mean...
Packers are good because they'll play the Lions. Exactly. I don't know why Detroit always gets it. There must be...
No, I'm sure there's a story...
It's always Detroit, it's always Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are like the night game.
No, but Cowboys I understand, because the quote-unquote America's team on
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
I don't understand what?
About America's team.
Did I roll my eyes?
I don't know, did you? I thought you did. I thought they were
really?
America's team.
I actually, you know what?
They're America's best football team, but Sharif just left, so there's no point in it.
No, I didn't roll my eyes.
Yeah, but I was saying the best team. I was still trying to get,
That was
credit.
Subliminal shade that I must have been throwing at the Dallas Cowboys. No, but I don't understand why why Detroit does play every single time.
There has to be something there.
Dallas makes sense to me. You'd think Pittsburgh would play more, but no. U.S. Thanksgiving. I'm looking to pick up a new TV. On Black Friday, so I'll be doing some shopping and watching some football and eating some. Okay, I was about to say eating some pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
But if we're in all honesty, because we got to try to keep it real around here, we have 2 pumpkin pies in my household for Thanksgiving. One of which the family has, and the other one that's just my pumpkin pie, and I just eat the whole thing. Usually in at least 2 sittings, because what do I look like? I'm gonna at least a couple of sittings. I'll eat that. But DJT, Sean, is still going. I don't know how you can drink a hot coffee. It is blazing in here.
Matcha.
Oh.
Hot, extra hot matcha.
Oh,
It's blazing in here? Are you kidding me? I don't find it that hot in here. Do you? You do?
This morning it was freezing. Now it's too hot in here. It's because DJT wants 30. DJT's at 30.
That is why, yeah.
DJT continues to climb higher. Nunya, can you come over? Yeah, if you want to visit the office and you have some pumpkin pie, or if we had some here.
Where
maybe.
Nunya Biz is right around here right now?
I don't know. Where you at, Nunya?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
We have severe security.
What? Oh,
here.
Right. Yeah, that's security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have to, probably not today, not agree. I mean, there's nobody here, so we'll take guests potentially never or coming up soon. Okay, it's a shame I'd have to sell to become a member of the $20 club. I know, Havana Woody. The thing is that no matter what stock you're trading, you don't actually realize the profit until you sell it. The whole dollar club thing we talk about all the time. It's just for fun. You still have to play off levels. I always like to hold a small little piece, and it's normally that 10% for bigger moves, and they just turn out to be, dollar clubs, and it's what it's helped me with. And I know Adam was all over the chat in the midday. I don't know who's been in the chat right now, but just being able to hold things has really helped me realize that, you know what, it makes a huge difference when you hold a small amount, especially when you're used to scalping. I mean, this piece is actually better than 10% now that I look at it. It's 10% of my usual stuff, but from here it's 20%. We only have 4 outs and trying to hold for the top again. So this is, what I make here by holding. If I scalp out 20% for, which there was 50 cents, and if I hold even half of that for the dollar, it's the same, right? Math, hello math. So it's made a huge difference to be able to do that. So that's something. But hey, $20 club, if you can scalp some out and it's at a level that you like, then I would. For me on Nvidia, I am not getting any more out. This thing's over 140 tomorrow. We missed that 140 call by just a couple of days. I thought it was going to happen last week. All right, so Boeing, so the FXI trade, you guys know we are in this. I made a keystroke error, and actually, no, this one was not a keystroke error. I think I got triggered out. I don't know if there was a bad trigger or something, but it flattened my whole position right there. So we are in the money about 55, 60 cents. I'm going to investigate after. I probably did it, but anyways, we'll go back short against 33. We'll go short against the 200 period now. That news that hit this morning, I basically have trained myself over those 22 years to basically believe nothing, especially when it comes to China. So I was trying to go short this whole time. It looks like the bid was better, to go long there and to hold that would have been just as good. But we were already down. So, that started creating to the upside. And again, we were very lucky. Part of trading is luck, because you go 10 more cents and I'm stopped out. We use this level right up here of 33.65 or so as our out. You could just crank it up to these tips right there and use 90s. I would have been upset if we got stopped out and it didn't hit there. But it came within basically a flash of getting stopped out. It went to 61 or 62 there. My stop is still at 7. Well, I've changed it, but it was at 70. So we are 5 or 6 cents away from getting stopped out rather than making it all back. So that is what we wound up doing. That's a positive name for us today, FXI. But that's what it is. So, all right. Yeah, you want CMG to announce a new. That's so funny because Starbucks is.
CMG's having a great afternoon.
I know, but they stole that Brian nickel there from CMG, and this was the reaction. I'm out of Starbucks. Oh, that's right. Brendan's at the big desk today. Yeah, that's right. I'm out of Starbucks over here at 96, 95 and change, on this move up. When we came back in there is when I sold it, and now you're kind of at this level. I think Starbucks, that 100 is such a key level. So I'll leave that to everybody else. But for me, I'm here. I am paying.
I want that
$6.
break.
But the thing is that the break higher? Yeah, I don't know. Looks like it wants to hold it.
Well, it has that.
I just think it probably goes down from here. I don't know.
It has that channel. It's a similar look on Starbucks. I'll get to see. CMG's having a really good move this afternoon, by the way. It's not. It's not ridiculous, but considering what it was doing this morning, it looks pretty good. No, but Starbucks has this run of lower. There you go, lower highs. So you got this little bit of a channel on a stock, which is, what the heck happened there? Okay, that's not the best, but you guys get the idea. You get these lower highs and lower lows while you're making a big old bull flag or whatever you want to call it. The way I see it, before it even gets to 100 break, you could easily have a close above 96 and then a run into 100. But Chipotle, oh yeah, where are the red candles on the 15-minute here? Since 12:45. Obviously it had a false breakout this morning. Goes right into break even. Sometimes those close prices are important. It closed at 58.65 here on Chipotle. Got there this morning within 4 or 5 pennies. That was a bounce, higher low. Now look at the trend back in. The problem with these I mean, now at this late in the day, is you want to, when you see that kind of a move, you get this little, I mean, that's a pretty bullish looking candle. Why? Because you're consolidating, you're rejecting underneath. It's the breakout at 59 that I think is what you want. As you can see that trend going to the upside. Now you're probably just in hold mode looking for some kind of a mean reversion to maybe get you out there. But Chipotle is super strong. That's just one of those stocks that I know post-split. There you go, it dipped down. It's been just running higher and higher since. Another local breakout. I mean, Chipotle looking fantastic. As it's known to do. They're just a good one that just keeps winning. They're like, what's another example of that? Like Costco. I mean, Costco is kind of like that too, where you look at it, you're like, how am I supposed to get into this stock? It doesn't really dip enough. You blink your eyes. Speaking of Costco, that just bounced off the 50 period, so you could have had that one off the 50. Buy those stocks, good stocks, at the 50 and 200 period. Speaking of which, Apple, same thing. Dips into the 200 period or 50 period last week, bounces right off of it. AMD bounced off of the 50 period last week as well, although it's having a rough time of it. Okay, so Apple's finally at that 2080 again, needs to bust out. I don't remember what it was at this moment. It was just at 10:48, like right before we were going into the, or ending the morning show, there was a pretty big sell event. And then it needed to calm itself down. Now it's right back to those levels, looking for a break at the top here. I want a reloaded VWAP if we're able to get it. BADZ in the chat, BADS, MSTR bleeding hard. Is that still falling? Really? Wow, it's almost at 200 MSTR.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah, that's a...
We'll find out more about that as we go.
It was 189 though at the open on Friday.
All right, and it had that huge day. All right, we'll drop some more cash down right now because why not? We just bought some dips on Nvidia, so we want to get that name in. So we just really just paid 49s right there for Nvidia. I just said, hey, let me slap this up to 74 because that's where the 50-period moving average is. That came real quick, man. So we're gonna wait to see if we can get that. I might just offer right now. And put that dub right in the books here for us. So there it is, man. We take out a 70 right there. Ring the register on that one, baby. Wow, that was a good trade there. So we'll continue to hold on to Nvidia and see if it can go. I mean, we just did this. Like, as we sit here and debate, like, and again, I like DJT, but like we just took right here, pretty clean 20 cents in 2 minutes off of something that actually makes sense that you can replicate day after day. There it goes. All right, there goes. Hopefully Nvidia can get back upside. Look, man, we want to stay strong the long name. We want to stay long the strong names. Strong the long names? Yeah, whatever. Long the strong names. And Nvidia definitely is that, up 3% today. And going to be, again, well, we don't have a red name, but so far, so there it goes. Wow, man, we like that one. Let's just go bang for that because that's going to be a good trade there. What's up, Blazing Bud, not Blood? What's up to D. Westermeyer? What's up to Havana Woody as well in the chat? And of course, Bears versus Bulls killing it for us as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's just do this. I better call up FX on another screen here. So I only have right now like 20% of what we would have had, even less maybe than what we had at the very top of this trade. So again, we are on a prop floor. I'm authorized obviously to trade as many shares and whatever position, pretty much tolerable. But at the same time, I'm not being irresponsible with FXI. If it wants to go up, it can go up. We got triggered out there, and I just got right back in. So realistically, we were sort of playing off of this level, but it doesn't matter. Every trade is a new trade, right? I mean, the minute you don't get out of something, it means you like it, or you're looking for another place. So for me, I got back in, and there's 33. So I was going to give this 2 up here, 33.10 break. Let me see if that's still in there. No, so I actually only had 33.01s. Now that I look at it, why don't we just stick with that? I mean, that's where I went with the first time. So that's where the 200 period is. So if we can break above 33, let's just get out. I was going to give it up here to 10s, but let's not do that. If it breaks higher, then we're out of that one. And then essentially, we would have just lost 6 cents because that out was 94. We'll get out at 0102, so we'll probably lose 7 or 8 cents on the reloaded position of a similar size. So, it'll be, here it goes. It looks like it's going to break higher. Often we sit here in the afternoon and nothing happens in China. You know what? I'm going to put that one. I mean, we don't have very many shares. I'm going to put it a little bit higher. Let's go to 06 right now. And that way we could take another piece right here, even at O's, now that we are at the 100 period or the 200 period moving average. We'll be able to average into it and hopefully have a better price for the way down, or we'll miss the trade. and it goes back down there again. So, all right, quickly, you're on some stock named Drug. I just wanted to see DJT quickly, just to give people an idea that we're going to go over there. I did not pay for shorts. I do not want to short this name at all. I would rather just play the momentum higher. You know, I mean, $30 is such a nice level, though. We always talk about even dollars and things like that, but it doesn't really load up too much on the charting for $30. But I think you have a couple tops here. This goes back into late July, 31.70, 32. Also matches before the gap up. This is the failed assassination attempt of Donald J. Trump there on July 15th was when the market opened. I think it was on a Saturday. This would have been a Monday, so July 13th, I guess. There's the move down into that $14 mark when all the momentum was with Kamala Harris. And then right now, I did check, it was minus 138. So that's like, I mean, those are great odds. And actually, if I look up, I should look up, compare right now with the Bills and I'm going to do that right here for everybody. I'm going to look up what the Bills, no, I just want to see, because I think the Bills should be like minus 200. I'm not sure where the game is tonight. That's the... Oh, yeah. You know if it's in Buffalo or not? I'm not sure. People obviously in the chat.
You know, it was crazy is when we had tickets, I'd always know where the Bills are playing, and now everything
it's at Jets.
Fantasy.
Yeah,
Who cares if it's in the Jets? But the thing about it is, like when the Bills play the Jets, or when the Jets are coming to Buffalo, like there's always a decent amount because it's so close, right? Like you're gonna get fans in either.
According to this, basically the Bills and Jets are pretty much even money tonight on who's gonna win the game. I'm just letting you know, dog. I'm trying to have you there. Wow. So Donald Trump is favored more in Vegas to win the election than the Bills are tonight. I mean, I don't know if you want. That is what it is. I'm just talking about what. And Vegas is.
I mean, they're not always right.
No, they're definitely.
They're not always right.
Those monstrous buildings are not built off of winners. Okay, so right now.
George Burson, you're right. Gerson Burson, you're right. Josh Allen does need to put up some fantasy points. I need 53. From Josh Allen,
I think he'll get
Dalton Kincaid, and the Bills defense.
Oh, that.
So it's.
I think you get it. I think.
But I'm playing the guy who he put up like a ridiculous number.
I know. Isn't that the worst when you play those?
Yeah, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Anyways, okay. Yeah. So like I got out of Win last week to talk about some of the casinos. It looks like that's actually holding out okay. We actually got out right here.
Macau news.
The last two stocks that we wind up selling was we sold a piece of Palantir at 43 or 44. Anyways, it was Friday or it was Thursday, but the day before I wasn't here on Friday. And then we did sell some Win, pretty much all of the Win actually, for a Win to the upside there, up into 105. But yeah, it was a win. So there it goes, upside right there. So we'll wait to see if Win can keep on
winning.
Yeah, it was too easy. All right, so there goes, man. You want to talk about winning something? There it goes, man. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Nvidia winners, because you do not have a chicken dinner winner today. No. Although that may look like a chicken today, that is a turkey. So happy Turkey Day to everybody and to all a good night. There's another 40.5 cents there on Nvidia. So yeah, man, the P&L keeps on going. Like we don't have really anything wrong with this stock at all. We first take the 38 break, then we get out there 39s, then we take the 39 break. Our best out there 45s. And this is what happens when you take pieces out. Sometimes you get lucky enough to basically get the top. I wish we would have been smart enough to get that again. Unfortunately, it breaks lower and we take out VWAP. We were on the show. When that happened, that was just before 11 o'clock when the market went upside down. And then we were able to buy that dip again and take that out. And then I think we might have got another piece there and then we averaged in. And then right into there, I think we're pretty much out on that break right there of 138. That would make sense. Then we see a barcode on Nvidia. We actually just came back. We went out, we got lunch, we were sitting back here. We sat right down and I said, barcode into these levels, give me some more. So we bought some more there and then watched that go up $1 plus into the money as we go right back up to these highs again. And then there it is. We are reloaded right there, and good little dip buy opportunity into Nvidia. And again, like we'll have Brian Shannon on tomorrow, but that's a VWAP play right there. So we'll do that on strong names and wait for some volume to come through. And pretty light. There's only one. I think there's one trader. We have Joe, maybe Joe times two. No, just Joe. Yeah, Joe times two, and Obi today. So although Obi may have been gone, may be gone. I haven't seen him in a minute.
I think he
definitely was here this morning.
Well, it's interesting because I was having a chat with Obi, and he kind of gave like the "oh, see you later." I kind of thought he was just going out for lunch, and I think he actually might have taken off. But I think he's going to be he's on a couple times this week. I have my follow-up with Surgeon on Wednesday, and I think you're off on Friday.
Yeah, we have another tournament to go to. This is nuts. My daughter's first day. You know, today's Thanksgiving Monday, so of course she's on the ice.
Well, of course.
So is my son, though, today. They're in a camp, so they're in a hockey camp for day camp.
Probably a great time to get
like
ice
that's. Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time.
But just very quickly, I'm trailing out of Apple if we lose this trend line. So a bit of a topping tail candle here, and then you've got this trend since breaking out the high, so broke the trend here, and then putting in this trend. If it loses the trend line, I'm out. That'd be under 230.80-ish. For now, obviously, it's a moving target. As it goes higher, I have to adjust. One of those things that I bet you the guys in the back could probably roll with the API here in P-Pro 8, and you could set up a trend line and then put trailing stops and have it automatically, each candle, just move your trailing stop for you. That'd be cool, but I do it manually at this particular point. I wanted to get to Affirm here, because if we talk about strong stocks trending up, Affirm is also one. It's about to test the $50 level, broke out on the daily. Last week, you know what Affirm did? My 15 minutes gone. That's okay. I'll put that back up in a second. No, when you broke out on that daily chart, we'll just use the 3 at this point. It's got a double top in here this afternoon, 49.6. Next available dip. Already double bottomed here, higher lows into 49. I want to look to play the next dip back into 49 before this takes out the top. Affirm another 5% today. It was this and was Upstart. Couple of parabolic movers this morning. Obviously, Upstart had a bigger move, but then if you throw in what Affirm did last week, Affirm was already on one. So I want to play the next dip here into the 49 level on Affirm. If there's anything else you guys are looking at, let me know what you guys see here. I see Adil asking Oscarito about Coinbase. That one's an absolute runner here as well, so that one's looking pretty good. Saad just read Warren Buffett took a position in Siri. I believe I think it was just that Berkshire added to their Siri position. They already owned a bunch, and they just did more buying in Siri, and I couldn't see another reason why it was up today outside of that filing over the week or that notice over the weekend. So, yep, they added to their position, and then based on that news, Siri goes up another 9%. It's nice when that's the reason you go up. Throw in the fact that I can't think of any other time where, like a stock like this, at one point this was a high short float, almost meme-ish name, and now all of a sudden it's a Berkshire name. So I can't remember the last time that was true. It was also, they did a reverse split because it was like a $2 stock, so I think that gives it more opportunity to go up. Now the float's not nearly as big, although it's still a pretty decent sized float. So strong move for Siri. It's getting into the post-split high, close enough to some of those low post-split highs, 9% today. Again, I think that story, it's not new that he's in it. It's just new that he bought even more shares. And I'm not familiar with exactly how much Berkshire holds. But the amount of cash they have, they could just buy the whole thing if they wanted to, but there's no indication that they actually want to do that. I think Affirm is the one I want to try to get into on this next available dip. You're seeing it hold a consolidation up here. But I like this 49 level if we can get it. We'll see if we do. Apparently an RANI, K-Debs and Jason asking about Rani Therapeutics. Okay, so immediately not familiar with this one. I haven't looked at this today. RANI up 50%, near the highs, kind of off the highs as we speak. What's the short float? Only 5% short float. 15 million share float. It's done 3 times that. So it's already done 3x the float here. And they also report in November. But wild. I don't know the story on this one. I'd have to look it up. But clearly a bit of a breakout this morning. Nice VWAP hold. If you look for the VWAP hold on these low float runners, that one's a gorgeous one here. Still room to go on the daily. Maybe 3.5. When you look at it, oh, that's right, my 15 is no longer there anymore. I'll get that up in a second. But no, it's got some room to run if it can hold up the volume, which it was maybe 15 minutes ago, although it's dipping now. If it can hold this $3, give you a little bit more volume action, there's room for it to get to 350. But the volume petering off since it got back into this $3 level.
I was just going to look over here. Tomorrow is October the 15th. So, UNH tomorrow before market open. Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup. Big time reports coming tomorrow. Not Morgan Stanley, though. I just wanted to say, I feel pretty good. Like we talked about Morgan, and it was down near that $100 mark, and I said, like, if anything, out of all the banks, like this one was looking the hottest, just still continuously ripping. And we were down here, and we got an upgrade or something, and I was like, if we're gonna take anything out on any of these bank earnings, Morgan's gonna already be breaking through these levels. So right there, like off that $100 mark, I mean, you're already now up about 10%. Well before earnings, and tomorrow you're going to get Goldman Sachs coming through. That should be an interesting one as well. So let's just wait to see if we can get something here on these names. But for right now, Morgan Stanley rocking and rolling, and then JP Morgan. I don't know what it was doing there on Friday or anything like that, but just looking at the chart, I can clearly see it was doing some nice things there on Friday, just completely blowing up there off their report. 212, and so it started the day off a little rough and then got going, and now you're right back to that 225. So I would say look out for that break to the long side right now if we can get a top out on JP Morgan. Again, all-time highs right there. So look at that, just gets beat up a little bit into earnings. That's the thing that he always does, man. Our guy over there, Jamie, what he'll wind up doing is he'll always talk a nice game about maybe how much trouble JP Morgan's in or how much the world's in, and then boom, just puts up a monster number. He did that before. He said like hurricane was upon us down here at 140. And then his stock goes, of course, right up to all-time highs. And then right there was actually caught. I was just listening to something. That's why I know about this.
Sandbag.
Yeah, not even just sandbagging, but he was talking all this week about the economy and potentially, that was what was going down. And all of a sudden into earnings, a nice pop.
Went down.
They can talk
these guys
there. I know TD Bank. I was actually thinking about stepping into some TD Bank. With you,
TD, of course, they're the bank with the money laundering, I guess, fine that it wasn't just a fine too. Like they got, what's bad? My wife literally sent me an article about it. I'm like, yeah, I had to talk about this in the show. I'm like, of course we went over it. She's like, yeah, is it a good place to buy it? I'm like, what I hate about the fact that they got fined, it was also that they restricted their growth in the United States. Which for TD, that was a major point for them relative to the other Canadian banks, and that the other Canadian banks didn't have as much exposure to the US, and that kind of made TD stand out. But if you're looking at Canadian banks, it's like, okay, there's this one, TD, or there is RBC, which is obviously doing some different things on the daily chips. This ever actually loads up, but just an overall stronger name in a general sense. Now, they're all pulling back in here, but I look at that MS, it's like, well, what do you want to buy on dips? Like the things that are healthy or the things that are looking like TD? I want to let it settle down after this news. I think there's going to be, don't get me wrong, I think there's a spot to play it, but it hasn't really made a bottom just yet. Like it's been down for a few days in a row. I look at the support on the daily, and it's 54 seems like the obvious level. Let it get down there. And then why not? Like they're not gone. Usually after a fine, when something gets resolved, is a good opportunity to pick it back up. But it's not a lot of goodwill when they start talking about money laundering. And then some of the stuff, when you read about it, it's like, everybody saw it was there and was obvious, and nobody was doing anything about it. It's never a good look. Just one thing, I am in Intel off that 2330 from this morning, but it can't seem to bust through VWAP here. So I basically just got in. It triple bottomed at 2330. Got to VWAP. It has yet to break out, has yet to fall apart. But all of a sudden, you've got this lower high. Speaking of afternoon trends, like you've got this little trend which could get lost. If it does, I think it's heading back to the low. So if we lose 2340 on Intel, I'm getting out. I'm thinking flip short on this for a host of reasons. One, it's a VWAP short, which usually if the market's up and Intel's down, it's a VWAP short. Two, Intel is just weak in a general sense. And then three, like this is a head and shoulders type level for those that are into it. Like resistance over here at 23.5, it breaks out for one day and then loses it the next day. So if we can't hang on to that trend line, I want to reverse short on Intel. Now the thing is for us at Real Trading, we actually have to fire two orders. Like I can trail it out underneath 2340, but to get short, I have to then go punch short. One gets declared to sell, and then you have to enter a short sell. So it might take it's not going to move fast enough that it'd be a problem.
So we only have, again, a small piece left of Nvidia. We got out of two spots right there, so we have a third left, whoopsies, for this one. But I still want to buy it. I still want to buy this dip all the way down in. if we lose VWAP there, I mean, I was looking at like 138.15 maybe to get stopped out. We are completely fine with this trade. I mean, I'm not even doing too much. You know what? Hold on a second here. 35, 65, 85. Okay. Someone's talking to me about FXI. I'll get to that in just 1 minute. So Nvidia, again, I don't know. I don't know if the market's going to lose this or not. I'm not really too worried about it. I still like the stock. I'd rather hold this and see about a 138 break. I'd rather be wrong if it breaks all the way back into there. So I'm just going to double check where my bids are. I'm actually going to cancel my 50 bid. I was going to buy. I'll buy a little bit there. I just don't want to get too carried away with this. So I'll put a bid at 138, like 45 for, you know, maybe a smaller amount of shares. Why are none of my orders going out right now, by the way? Order failed price range. Oh, I probably just put the wrong price. Okay, 138.42. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's going out. So that's another fail proof that we have on here. Like if I put out the wrong price, it won't let it go. So I might have put out like $13.8 or something like that, or $13,000. So it won't execute it. It'll just say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, you know, your price is way out.
It's a good protection to have.
It's great. No, because if I don't even know what I put there, but if I put too many zeros, it would have just punched me in. So yeah, it is. No, it's great. So we'll wait for that. And then if it comes in, I want to reload right here, like 15s or 16s. This is the level for here. Let's just call it 20s. And then we'll jump out if it breaks lower than that. All right. So FXI talk. All right. So we should still be short from the beginning, but we already got out there. Now we're trying to build it back in. So we're only short right here, right now at 94. Hopefully we can fall back. I do have a first bid. I'm always trying to take 10 cents or so, especially when our stop is going to be about 10 cents. If we talked about it breaks 33. So I think 1-to-1 makes a little bit of sense, and that would put us right at this bottom where we've already sort of taken profit once before. So we'll see if that can hit there. It's already bounced off there. I mean, sorry, we didn't take profit. Our best out was 91s, it looks like. And then the next is here. Like, I think it was already on the sticky note as a short. So I was already looking short. And then we got that news almost right away, right as the market opened. It was 9:30, 9:45 or so. It just started to go. And then we got word on some sort of a stimulus number of yuan that hit there. And then, I don't know, it was rallying for a bit. We zoomed out. We found this level on the 20-minute, which gave us about a 60 or 70 out. So we said, okay, let's rock. I could definitely hold this a little bit. So we put on some more. Our average price at that point was about 30. And then it just fell in. So this is going to be now a positive name, which wasn't to start. We were short early, got stopped out right there. And this is what risk management is all about. This is why we have, you know, the buying power and the millions and all that we could throw into the market at all times. Is because we have stops like this. And it's like, I'm not going to get rinsed on a story that we don't know. Brendan immediately hit the wires. We got the news for you, and I was fine with it. We talked about it. We gave ourselves some levels. And look, trading, you have to sort of hit it sometimes. And we hit it and did not quit it. We waited for this to come all the way back in and did really good, getting all out near and around 33, putting us positive. And now here we go again. So FXI, I don't have a negative name today. And it's not that has anything to do with that. It's like we're being very patient and waiting for things to develop. So again, on FXI here into the close, I'll still look. I mean, we didn't have any imbalances. I don't know if there's anything on Friday. That one time we were looking, right? So we were looking at that. So I'm kind of not worried about that. I just think China goes down. You know, I mean, we'll wait for them to open up there tonight. But
I've been tracking.
Let's see.
Since that crazy day, I mean, we're assuming it was FXI that crazy day where there was a lot of people making that big move up on FXI, I think in the last maybe just even 10 minutes. Even on Friday, I keep having Amex on the imbalance locator just to see if something else came, and it was just nothing at all. On a Friday, I would have thought so, but I think it's worth looking. You never really know. Mara here, with MSTR continuing to go to the downside, like you are getting a bit of a retrace. With MSTR tanking, I think I can say that MSTR is tanking. I think you've made a little bit of a top here underneath 66 on Bitcoin. Mara, which to me had been along all morning, now you're losing VWAP. And I feel like if we lose this 17, I'm thinking short underneath VWAP on MARA. I know we keep, for anyone see if people still putting MSTR, I just typed in Microsoft. It's so weird. I do that a lot. Specifically, when I mean to put in MSTR or MicroStrategy, I'll put in Microsoft out of muscle memory. No, MSTR continues to find more lows here. It's just absolutely bleeding. Coinbase, which we've mentioned, has been relatively strong, but now it's starting to barcode. So the strongest is holding the highs and barely moving. MSTR is flushing still, And then Mara, which I'd put it in the middle, is losing VWAP. Now, the thing about Mara has not been a very healthy stock, relatively speaking, and has not participated in pretty much any of this move up in Bitcoin, with the exception of today. And I'm looking at this kind of trend reversal back in. If it can lose VWAP this time, I think you can head down to 16.8. I'm looking shorts into VWAP on Mara. Affirm doesn't seem to have much of a bid at this 49 level yet. So it's pulled back into 49, but look at it. If anything, this looks like it's headed down into VWAP. No bounce. Look what it did the last time. First time it got to 49, quick bounce. Second time, nice reversal candle, and then some support, and then a higher low. Like, it gave you a very good long setup at this 49. Nothing yet here on Affirm, and I don't want to rush into just jumping on the bid here when you can see how it's coming to the downside. It's one thing to look at a level and say, yeah, it looks like it could be a support level, but if it gets down there and nobody's buying, then you don't want to just catch that falling knife, which is not the plan of action for me on Affirm. So we'll have to be patient with it. Looks like maybe we're going to get a setup more from Mara on this short. So it's trying to bounce 17. I'd look to short it back into the 17.10. Worry about a 17 flat bottom break a little bit later.
Was it Oscar? Who likes it? Ozan. All right, so here goes FXI. Nice downside push again. So we're here again to have this trade. So nice move down in for FXI again, slowly becoming another top P&L name here today for us is FXI. And I mean, boom, we really like it. We really, I mean, again, this is what I'm talking. You're more than welcome, Salvador. I mean, that's what we talk about. There was something that says, and I said this last week, and someone once told me this, and I told you I'm never going to forget it. What's up, Salvador? Those who can't do, teach. And for me, like, I sort of take that, like, when you're saying thanks for the explanation on FXI, now it's working and it's going down, like, to me, I'm trying to do both. And I just hope that everybody can see that and take for what we do here for granted for you guys, because I feel like when things work out, it's great, but also at the same tone, you know, we have to understand that it's like those stops can still hit at any time. I mean, just because, you know, one thing works out, the next thing doesn't. We'll have to wait to see what happens. But there's our little bit of an out there at that 10-cent mark for that. We'll see if FXI can continue to go lower. I heard something about Google and developing a power. I guess they're getting. So I went long SMR. I'll have to see if there's anything going on there. We'll get that story in a minute. But Google today was another name that was on. And for those of you watching, I mean, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get that going first and foremost. We have over 3,000 watching and like 300 likes. And thank you right there. Whoever just became a member there had mentioned, was it Coffee Trader? There it is. Oh, it was Oscarito. What's up, Oscarito? And there he goes here. Let's go, people. Neil and Sean are in here, and Brendan and Andre and Fabian are here today. And we need more likes on this. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody there in Canada. Look, if you are watching right now and you are Canadian, you are basically, it's actually, I think it's in like this year's taxes, like you have to hit the like button if you're watching Trader TV Live and you're Canadian on a Canadian holiday, because what else would you be doing? Hopefully spending time with family, but this can always be on in the background. I know it's often on in the background in my house, believe it or not. I even watch the show on my holidays. So there you go. Always looking to improve, man. Always looking to improve. All right, so hit the like, hit the subscribe. And anyways, Google right now, I liked it. It was on the sticky note today, but was unable to get into it. I really like the long. And actually, I wrote down 160, excuse me, 163 long there for Google. It got as low as 164. We'll look at that if it comes into play tomorrow. But for right now, Google is probably, again, going to sleep here, as it's a bank holiday. Remember, in the United States, Columbus Day, I believe. So, you know, you're going to get a little bit of a slow reaction to many of these closing prints today, I would think. So we'll take profit where profit lies and not give everything back here today, as it's a positive day for me. So we'll keep it. We don't have a red name, and we plan on keeping it that way.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. And hey, you know what? If you are spending time with the family, then share the show with the family. And why not? If they're interested, let them know all about it. Just an adjustment here. So since the trend break on, well, I mean, air quotes break on Apple, it did make this topping tail candle, attempted to close beneath it. But now that it kind of tested that trend line, I have the stop in here at 31, the next local high. If it gets to the high of the day, I'm going to move this up as it does go. Didn't really get the fill on the offer of Mara. Intel hasn't really broken down. And then Affirm, this is one we're waiting for. See, there you go. There's your bottoming tail candle. There's your re-entry opportunity off of 49 even. So, and again, if you sit there, you can sit on the bid and just kind of hope that it gives you that kind of an entry point. I'm going to try and pick it up here 9s and 10s. Just hop on the bid, play the long back into that local high. Don't want to chase too far, but I can go to 10s, maybe 11s on this name as it continues to hold trend to the upside. Just hitting on the bid. I could punch in at 12s. I suppose the market's not really moving all that much. I feel like you might as well just wait and get your price and not have to force it. I'm still intending on the reverse in Intel as it's now gotten to VWAP again. Another VWAP test, another rejection of VWAP in here. There it goes. It hasn't really broken the trend just yet, but if it closes underneath, my stop is at 40. I'm out if it breaks 40. I'm reversing if it closes underneath. There on Intel. So Mara in front of VWAP, that just came in, Affirm off the 49 level as well. And now we're going to be out of Intel. I want to close underneath here, otherwise the short's all the way back up at VWAP. So we're getting out of that Intel long, looking for the short off of VWAP, which is pretty clearly to like $23.50, or we just close underneath that previous trend line and work into the low of the day. Weak stock looking like it wants to come to said downside. So just a quick update, Apple to trail in those new positions. DJT, for those that are asking, did a dip and right back into 30. So it's still kind of going. It doesn't, like for me, the reversion here was a break of the high of the day and then a steep trend to the upside. It hasn't really done something like that again. Like it broke the high here, but then didn't do a steep upward move off of it. Like if I want to revert it, there has to be like a big move to revert or it's just not worth it. Trying to take pot shots at the same level. Otherwise, you'd just be shorting 30 and then shorting 30 and then shorting 30. I like a parabolic move, set up that one shot for it to come back and it either works or it doesn't. And it's very binary. Unless this does some kind of crazy break off 30. I'm guessing it might be done for me today on DJT with just the one short.
Yeah, we're going to, as I told you, I'm not looking short on DJT, but I'm going to take this long if we break through 30.50. So get on board with me if you want and go long if it gets up there, but it has to go. So we'll wait to see if it gets up there. I mean, I'll take the squeeze, see if we can squeeze into the close there. It's 307 right now. Enter power hour, and we're here for it. So let's see, can we take this out in there at 30.50 right now for DJT? I'm in there. If it happens, baby. You'll see it light up on your screen when that does come through. So that's that. And then, by the way, there it is again. We talked about teaching and trading and all of that. So we'll just go right here. A little bit of fleshy, hopefully, for FXI. We did get some more out there. We only now do have, we got out of 25% of FXI. So we got some out to 86s and 87s as here we come back in. I am bidding 81s, and then that'd be perfect for me. Nice little, I mean, we're short right here, right? So nice short against a 200 period. This was going to be roughly, what are we short at? 5 cents worth of a hit right now. In the money now, 11. So would like to get a little bit of a push lower, which will be there for that if it can come through. But right into that level, 32.75 would be fantastic. And if we can do that, man, and we don't get those likes going, then I don't know. But do it for sure immediately if you can, and that would be greatly appreciated by all of us here at Trader TV Live. So, all right, let's just keep on going as we wait for FXI to fall down. We are bidding 81, so on that one we shall wait. Peloton, DJT, we already talked a little bit about that. We can look at Peloton. I don't know what that's doing. They did have new management. They did have a different change, I believe, of something for the last little while. And Peloton, nicely done. Nice move up from 420 up to 550-ish. Peloton today up 10%. As that just keeps on going higher. So, yeah, this name, we'll have to find out the more news on this. But look, this goes the same thing. This is why I'm here, right? It's like these dip buys into VWAP and stuff like that. Like, this is why these squiggly lines are here, you know. So if it can come back in, I do like Peloton. Down there, it's 309. I have DJT. $5. I have DJT now up. So if that does break through 30, we'll be on it. I'm hands off, right? I mean, the order will execute itself. So hopefully it comes back up and we're able to take some DJTs through that 30.50. I do like the high for that. Yeah,
what's crazy about the Peloton is it's actually doing more volume now. Like like this is breaking highs on big volume. This is bigger volume in the afternoon than it did at any point last week. Like it doesn't have a single day last week, open or close. Well, that's, I guess, the week before, but it doesn't have anything out in front. I see a lot of Peloton ads on, I think it's on DAZN. I feel like that's where I keep seeing them all the time when I'm watching football games. But yeah, at some point, even Peloton becomes a bit of a value. Look at this on the daily chart. It's breaking out on the daily. 525 was like a triple top in here. You've now blown that out on good volume. There's no decent reason why this can't be long. I'm looking over at Affirm, which is a similar setup, but I would make an argument that, you know, with a short float here in Peloton, let me just double check. See. Oh, it's only 18%. It used to be like 30%, but that's still pretty hefty. It's obviously lower because, I mean, it's not 30 anymore because when you look at the daily chart on Peloton, like it bottomed at like $3 and then it broke out to 50. So there's probably some short covering there and then more short covering while it was holding the 200 period moving average. Look at that. See, I don't always crap talk the golden cross. See, like there's some stocks go up when there's a golden cross. You can't make it up. Golden cross stock goes up. I think it's one of those indicators that you read about all the time, but I've never actually seen any anecdotal. I've never done any studies on it, but I feel like I see just as many ridiculously bad long opportunities or good short opportunities when you have a golden cross. Here's an example of one going, but I think this is just more of a squeeze play, and it fell so far that it had to catch some kind of a bottom. Like some people still use it. They have a decent amount of customers still there. I would have thought when it got that low, maybe someone would have been interested in buying them up, but now that it's doubled, I feel like that might have come and gone. If you were going to do it, someone wanted to pick them up, they should have done it at $2.50, $3. Would someone be interested at $5? My guess is no. So we're in Affirm. I suppose I might have been looking dip buy into Peloton had we seen that one first, but it held that 49, playing up into the 49 quarter. 49.5 is like a triple top in here, so if it gets there, certainly want to be scalping it into that 49 and a half and make sure we're taking profit on that. Intel is still not closing underneath that trend line. It's still holding underneath VWAP. I'd let it get back to VWAP. If it gets to VWAP, I think that's an obvious place to scalp the short. Fluffy Hippo in the chat. SMR is breaking out.
Oh, good.
That's the, you bought that one.
Yeah, that's my stock.
Oh, there must be news here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember I was just telling you guys. I was saying Google
I didn't hear.
was doing a deal there.
Okay, no, I missed that.
But I don't think it was with SMR, but it is a small modular reactor play there. SMRS, is that a stock? SMRS, no. So anyways, yeah, SMR. I mean, here, I have the story right here. Brendan's over there as well. We can probably go over this as well. But there it is right here. I just see on Benzing, Google's Alphabet signs deal to buy nuclear power from small modular reactors to be developed by Kairos Power, Kairos. Alphabet and Kairos say the deal is for 500 megawatts of power of SMRS, agrees to bring power online, blah, blah, blah. So you guys, Kairos. So I don't think that's... Maybe it's a private company, or maybe it's a subsidiary of SMR. I don't know, but
there's a Kairos Minerals on the OTC. That's about it.
Yeah, that's probably popping because people don't know what it is. But maybe minerals. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. No, but anyways, what I was talking about here on SMR, I actually bought it in my long-term account. My swing account when we breaking this $13, and then we bought some there. And then remember that day we lost on the trade. It was pretty bad. It was like a really bad trade. And I think it must have been one of these days here, October. Anyways, I don't think it was this last dump in. And then I was able to buy some more. So my average price is in and around $12.20 or so. So nice move up right now on SMR. The one stock that I'm not filled on yet, but the stock that I do like for the long term. And again, this is just stuff that I'm doing and not stuff that, we're not licensed to give you guys, long-term financial advice or anything. We're just filling time and talking our books, right? Because, we invest. So I was thinking about, and not thinking about, I am going to be buying some XBI. I mean, I really like this as a biotech. I was actually looking at some of the main holdings here. Oh, man, I was using...
It's a good group.
It's a good group there.
We had Raider... It was crazy about this.
It's Sarepta. Yeah, go ahead.
On the aftermarket show on Friday, Raider came in. Raider was in the afternoon show as well. He was super chatting and talking. And then going into the aftermarket show, he was mentioning it was specifically XBI and IWM. And then we
What a
had,
surprise.
no, well, I mean, great.
You were
both
on
running-
Friday, right?
But then we had
I had him on Thursday, I think.
we have Chris Brecher on.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
two names did Chris Brecher like for the long? IWM and XBI. Both of them. Both.
Come on, Raider Trader, man. You know I gave you that play on Thursday, and he comes on and tells you on Friday.
We have
guy's
him this
killing me.
week?
I don't know, maybe.
probably.
But anyways, if you look here at a longer time frame, I just, you know, I like the valuation. Amgen, AbbVie. I mean, I'm already big into AbbVie. That's a good one for me, and it's been really, really good right there. But again, just beat up recently. I like the fact that this 200 period is pretty sweet. That's down there at 94. If I'm able to get something at, I just didn't put any orders out. I'll have to see. Well, I did over the lunch. I just don't think we got filled. So we're going to have to wait to see if we can get this. But right into there, the 50 period's at 98.65. So without being too, like, you know, worried about the exact price, we wouldn't mind getting some shares here in XBI very, very soon. So that's definitely on my radar as the next one. So SMR, XBI, and BREN is another symbol that I would go long on. What's up, Brad?
That's a good one.
I was trying to find guys who was saying this, but I haven't been able to yet. But there's a little bit of a move down there in Tesla going back a few minutes ago, confirming what most thought. The Optimus robots in the event last week were in fact operated remotely, so not having conversations as if the way they were depicted anyways on camera.
You know what's funny? Like
Nvidia.
Sharif was saying that they was remotely operated. I was like, why would they do that? It shouldn't seem like technology would be that hard for them to do legitimately. And then of course that's what they do. So there's a little bit of a dip happening. So got to 49.40 and not 50 on Affirm. A little bit of a dip pulling back in. If it puts in a higher low, I like it. But if we can't hold on to 49 even, forget about the local bottom. Now if it can't hold on to 49 even, just gonna move the stop here as you got almost to 49.5 without actually making the break to set upside. Apple is chilling. All right, Apple's breaking trend as well. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Mara almost broke this lower high at the quarters. If it breaks that lower high, I'm out. The idea was to short it at VWAP, and if it breaks the quarters, jump out of it. But I just realized I also have to move my. It's the thing about when you use like if you don't really use a trailing stop, but you trail things manually. So this is the new trend on Apple, kind of like this. If it breaks down underneath, I'm getting out. So that's about, 231.20 or so. If it loses that, I'm going to get out of that Apple trade. So Affirm, I think, is running into a little bit of trouble to the upside here. And it was something else I wanted to watch out for. It was one of those small cappers. It wasn't drug. It was Peloton. So Peloton is making another fresh breakout. So you might not get the chance at that 535 dip buy, but it's breaking fresh highs, which, Affirm's not doing. I mean, Affirm's going up, but it's not making fresh highs. Peloton is out and about into the middle of nowhere as we speak, filling in this gap. I think it looks a little bit stronger on Peloton.
Oh, no, a long time.
Yeah, so like 535 in here. I don't want to wait till a 550 break. That looks like a pretty strong one here on Peloton.
It is what it is. Yeah, Peloton there. Fabian's asking me about Peloton. You know what doesn't really matter? I mean, Peloton's a great stock, but you only need one today. And we talk about this every single day. It only takes one. It only takes one stock if you focus on it and you're true to yourself and you're using the right amount of shares and you're confident and all that, then you can just keep doing this over and over again. I mean, this is what we just did. Instead of sitting here on our hands, obviously, if there's no trades, we'll sit here on our hands, believe me. But right now, I mean, I like this trade for Nvidia right there back into. I mean, I told you what we were doing. We will buy more at VWAP. I mean, that's exactly right there. Hopefully, no one on this chat on the channel, which probably someone will say is, where do we learn how to trade? But I mean, right there. Fabian's been watching this show for a year. Happy 1 year anniversary, by the way, Fabian. I kind of just made that up. I have no idea when it was. Has it already passed? I don't know. Maybe. Happy 3-year anniversary, Fabian. No, but. And even he tells me all the time about looking at some of these things, and look at that. I mean, I'm just a common man, even less than that. And right now, there it is, VWAP, bang. So there we go. We talk about that. Doing, teaching at the same time right there. It's Nvidia. Keep your heads up on that one. And then, you know what, Salvador, if you're still in the chat, this one's for you, my guy. Money. There goes FXI right into our level of 80s. So we get that 81 fill down there, and now we're pretty light on FXI. Go Nvidia. This will be real nice, man, if we can get this to run to the high side right now. Back into 139. I twist my hand to take this print if we can get it. We'll go back up to the upside. My kids are in hockey camp today, so it'll be nice if this can go upside. We can pay for that. Nice little move right there on Nvidia as we continue to go higher and higher, trying to break this level one more time. Thank you, and a big happy Thanksgiving to all of our friends here in Canada, north of the border there. Oh, here we go, 188, 138, 88 coming into play again. We are offering 88s if we can get it there on Nvidia, and just ho-hum another 40, 50 cent winner right there. So we'll wait on this. Hopefully we get the nice upside. There it is. Hey, what's up, Salvador? Salvador gets out right there. You know how much that cost you, Salvador? Free, nothing. It just costs you a like. So there you go, Salvador. You picked that 81 and got out of it all. That was the best fill you could have got, I think. We might have dipped into 80s there, but again, congratulations, Salvador, right there for hitting it. That's exactly why I'm here, hopefully giving you some of these ideas, giving you the trades that make sense, and just actually putting them on for you, showing them to you. Thank you, Salvador. That does mean a lot that you're able to take that trade and get out where you did. So nice target there. I'm glad that was hit. We'll see about getting out more on the downside right now. The NASDAQ continues to sort of hold VWAP, hold the 50 period. We're nowhere near VWAP, but hold the 50 period moving average right there. This has been a pretty slow afternoon, right? So it's slow grind higher. So VWAP will just grind higher as well. It may not be something to worry about. So Nvidia, we'll just hold on to that. Long, FXI short, 321. And again, we're on one today.
Yeah, I just got out of Apple. Just to show you guys again why we're getting out, where we're getting out. It was a trend reversal. It did eventually break that high of the day. But when it made a new trend, so you had the trend off of VWAP, that was unbroken. You broke this high, set up a new trend. It didn't break underneath that. You broke out this consolidation, and then your last trend line now very clearly closing underneath. So we're jumping out of that trade. If we see VWAP again, it's very unlikely it's anything but like a 350 style trade on Apple. And then remember, the key thing for Apple was we were breaking 230 this morning. That's the level we liked. So that was the only level I was trading off of in front of 230. We had two dips off to 230. First one early, no good, wicked out, jumped back in because we liked Apple. It then had whatever the heck was going on at 1050 when you had, I think, a pretty nasty reversal on Apple. And as that was happening, in and out in front of 230. And then I said, we'll have to wait for 229.5 to start holding. Well, where's 229.5? Prior resistance into current support levels. So once it held that 229.5 level, and again, not just trying to, I don't like that entry, although it had already bounced off VWAP once. It wasn't that clean. A lot of times if you're in the one where it wicks you out, it's a little bit easier. It's a weird thing to say, but it's true. It's a little bit easier to know that you might have just made a wick bottom if you were in it than if you weren't, because you're paying attention to the tape as opposed to, you just sort of see it happen on the chart. Like you see the price action jump right back up on the bid if you're watching it. But I think it was a little bit cleaner, the 229.5, because it broke, held as resistance, consolidated, broke back out, dipped, and held as support, the 229.50. So much cleaner entry, but we're now out of that trade. Affirm has pulled back into break even here. So I got one more leg out. Let me just zoom back in so you can see. You had this topping tail candle at the 40, and then it tried to go right back up, rejected the 40, got more out here because there's like your little rollover candle. Make sure you get the bulk out. Hang on to the last like 20%, and if it loses 49, we get out. You just don't want to turn that trade red. It couldn't quite get to the high of the day, but gave some signs of reversion here on Affirm. So wait for it to make the bounce off the level, catch it on the way back up. When it shows a rejection in front of 49.5, just try to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. Eric Chen in the chat just said, any news for Sofi upcoming? Well, I don't have a crystal ball as to whether or not they're going to report any news. They do have earnings in 2 weeks. So whether or not there's something expected coming out of Sofi that I'm unaware of, I don't know. They report in a couple of weeks. That's the best I can give to you. If you know that there's something coming down the pipeline in SoFi, let me know. But outside of earnings, that's all I can think of. I'm
always down.
Well, you know what? Actually, I was considering this over lunchtime. If SoFi, because actually we're talking about SoFi, so I might as well let you guys know because we were just talking about like things in the long term and all that good stuff. If SoFi, oops, I want to zoom out. There we go, a little bit further. If SoFi gets to this local top, here would be like 1150. from that $7 level, that's obviously exactly a 50% move from that big $7 support that it's had. If it gets there before earnings, I'm trimming mine going into the earnings just to take a little profit on it because it hasn't really been all that good of a stock. And I'm wanting to take something out so that I don't know if I'm going to buy more TD or whatnot, but I want to have a little bit extra cash if I find a good bottom in TD Bank after that bad story. And I do want to give TD some time. So I figure SoFi a couple weeks to earnings. If that gets all the way up to 11.5, take some out before earnings, and then I can put that money into, hopefully TD's made a bottom by then. If it hasn't, then yeah, that wouldn't be very good at all.
Just so everybody is on the same page here with what I'm trying to do. Anyways, we got some more out of FXI. So it came back in, we got an 83, I think it was 83 or 82 fill right there. We are bidding some more, see if it does come back out to see about getting that. And then again, you know, we take another piece out here at 75 on Nvidia. There's only 25 minutes. Well, now there's only 25 minutes left until Imbalances, which would come at 330, 350. And this is what they look like right here, but they'll come out. And again, all be updated. These are the quick little broker look, early look right now. Pfizer has a bid underneath it, so we'll wait for that. Okay, come on, FXI, get down. Right now, we only have half of our Nvidia reloaded position on right now, so we'll wait to see if we can get some more love into that at all. But for right now, that's what we're doing, waiting. Now, so that's GRTS, Unity, right here at $21. That could be a little interesting into the close. It's up pretty good today, isn't it? No, it's only up 1%. Okay, so we'll watch out for that. And that's it. Oh, SQQ. Okay, so that's a sell. So that would be a buy then on SQQ because on the TQs. It's small, man. Only 450,000. It's done 100 million shares. So that's nothing. And then heading into earnings tomorrow, WFC already had their earnings. But bank earnings come tomorrow. So we'll wait to see if we can get any sort of a play there. It looks like WFC's a buy here today. Although WFC has had a nice move down, as I'm noticing right here, into $62. But what a move up on the daily here for the banks as the banking sector reach all-time highs there on Friday. And it looks like today will be no pullback, I don't think. I just saw JP Morgan was up. I saw Wells Fargo was up. So XLF right there, a nice move to the upside. Like now that my daughter, like, you know, she just turned 10, what she got for her birthday was a Sephora gift card. So I should be buying e.l.f. and all this kind of stuff, cosmetics, of course. Sephora owned by LVMH, but e.l.f. Cosmetics, nice move to the upside right there, really getting hit down. So, you know, I feel like there's going to be some value in this name for sure. As we go, we'll have to wait out. So, okay, here we go, man. The best just keeps getting better. Alert, alert, alert. Bye-bye, FXI. Again, another stock that we talked about live here on the show and another trade put on there. And now FXI goes right away, guys, to a big level of P&L for me. So let's see if FXI can continue that downside push, man. It's been a good trade here today to grab some of these. So FXI so far so good. Waiting for even a bigger pop than what we have on right now. So let's go. FXI up, sorry, downside. Downside right now for FXI, waiting for Nvidia to pop. But there it goes, man. A nice move back in. And again, we have enough shares. Let's just put a bid here at 75, see if we get hit there. Maybe punch out some at 76, but there goes FXI. It's another one right there. There it goes. We get filled at 75. So hopefully it breaks lower. It's a good trade here. 30 cents in the money. We'll just sit on our hands here with only 20 minutes left until the imbalances.
Yeah, 20 minutes left till the imbalances. I mean, obviously, we'll see what happens with those. I'm expecting nothing burger. Early look isn't really showing you, I mean, anything, as Sean mentioned there. Although, maybe worth keeping an eye on that BEKE. We've seen that on there a few other times. Interesting, you mentioned LVMH, and it's like, oh, why not just be an LVMH? If I mean, there've been, I don't know, that stock, it feels like it's been up, down, and around. All that good stuff, but I've never been in a cosmetics name. I remember when we would look at that Ulta Beauty, and I thought about taking a couple of swings at it, and just never did. So I'm gonna stay away. I don't really know much about the space or how it's been going, but it does move around a little bit. I think they're decent traders, trading vehicles around earnings, especially. Don't sleep on them. So Affirm gets another bounce off 49 here, so it doesn't lose the 49 level. But just in case it's going to be a more shallow bounce, I mean, the market's running back up to the highs, respect the resistance that it had at those 40s, get some back out in front of the 20s and then the 30s on this march back. What looks like to the upside, Peloton, there might not be another dip into the prior high, starting to run out of time. It is 3:30. You're running out of time for this to get going. Either break the 550 or hold on and give you the dip into this prior high at 535. Not sure we're going to get a chance. And yeah, Carl Geo, LVMH is not only a cosmetic company. I think that's the appeal of it, is the fact that it's a big-time luxury brand where you're a little bit diversified and you get a little bit of piece of that industry as well. But yeah, who knows? I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not really an expert on it. I just know LVMH is considered the luxury stock, although the stock price hasn't always been all that good. I see Scott talking about Amazon. Yuck. Yuckity yuck yuck, Amazon. This is a disappointing one today because that just on volume made a fresh low. The good news is that looks like a bit of a bottoming tail candle. Like break the low, make a fresh low of the day. It actually didn't break a low that was already at a low, and then make a huge reversal candle on volume. Typically that can be a little bit bullish, but Amazon's been taking one on the chin a little bit today. I think a retest of the 50-period moving average is a good spot. The 50 and the 200 line up on Amazon. That's a great level to buy a stock if the 50 and the 200 on a good company line up. I think you might retest that 180 before we even get back to the 195 high. I think that would make it an opportunity to buy. It did lose this. When it lost the trend line last week, I thought this move was going to get you all the way to the 50 period. It stopped like $1 shy. But as it goes higher, now all of a sudden that 50 period comes up to the 180 level where it bounced before. So I'm going to like that 180 on the off chance that we get there on Amazon. I know it's far away, but that's a support level. If we get there, I'd be looking to buy Amazon. And unfortunately, not looking very good here today. You didn't have a lot of strength in some of the Mag 7 names, unless it was Nvidia or Apple. Meta broke 600. Actually, wait a minute. No, Meta got to 600 and then another pullback. Microsoft wasn't really giving you much of anything. Amazon wasn't doing too well. So it really was just about Nvidia and then Apple to a certain extent. Tesla, obviously, Tesla did some Tesla things, bouncing off 215 eventually. So just an Affirm. Mara is still chilling out at VWAP. Now, it's not flushing like MSTR is. It's just hanging into VWAP. I am bidding down here in front of that 17 level, but it's not going anywhere. We're now getting a bit of a barcode on that. So looking to hold on to this long. I don't know if I reload that Affirm trade just yet. I think we're running out of time for it to retest that highs. I'd like it to be making higher lows and pressing the high of the day at this point. Right now it's good, but not great. Like on Friday, Affirm was a $1 move. Today, it's really just giving you 30, 40 pennies.
All right. I like that. A trade on Affirm, that 48 level, obviously pretty key. I was actually close to putting that here on the sticky note, but let's go through. You want to walk through a story? Right now, so this is the story of FXI. So we talked about wanting to go short right here on the sticky note of FXI. So here it comes. We talked about what level did we write down here? 33.50 for FXI. This is today's sticky note. Make sure you go grab it at Trader TV, Sean. So it's written down there. So what happens to FXI today? It actually makes a move down, and we're like, oh man, we're right because we're short, but at the same time, what the hell just happened? Takes out VWAP, and we get out right there. Then it goes right up to what level, Neil? 33.50. That's right. Right up there into 33.50, which is a level that we wrote down right there. So then there it comes into 33.50. We zoomed out. We did our research. We talked about why we liked it against 33.60, 33.70. Okay, so we take the short. All right, then we talk about, all right, still going down. There's a little update. We break through 33. Then just right now, we talk about reloading this thing, and then we explained it off the 50, off the 200. There's the 50, there's the 200. Boom to the downside. So there it goes, and now we're right back in the money, and now FXI is what it is. This is just to show like you got to be part of what you're writing down and all that work that you do in the pre-market, all that stuff you go home and I charted this, I charted that. That's great, but how did you trade it, okay? We can look at many, many things, and that's the one thing about our show. You can sit here, look to see what we're trading, and today for me, Neil and I will always trade different styles. I've traded 4 or 5 names today and go 5 for 5. Very specific. 4 names, what am I talking about today? And go 4 for 4 and be very, very specific of what we're looking at. This is trade idea number 1. It's Sofi. It's written on here as 950. It's right on the sticky note, 950 long. So that's what it is right there. It's a chicken dinner winner and dropping down some money. Palantir was in the wild. If you guys want to watch this trade, we did not have this one written down. But again, we love Palantir on the show. And I always take it. So not always, but again, looking for a strong name. It broke through the 200 period. I wanted to let it go. It was a good one. This one's our least amount of profit today. Nvidia. Come on, man. This is how you go 4 for 4. Nice moves up on Nvidia. Just believe in it. We stuck with Nvidia. Buy 138s, buy 139s, buy into VWAP, and then boom right there. Oh, by the way, we just got that fill right there. It's coming right back up, so we'll probably get another one there as well. And then the last one that we traded is FXI. And right now we have 20% left of this FXI trade on. So we'll see where it goes now. We're playing with house money. We'll see if we have a lower bid right now on FXI. But again, that's how I'm trading. Will be completely different than these guys. I think Neil's at probably double or more than that. Names traded. I can check Sharif, but you guys know that he trades a little bit more of the gapper stocks and things like that. So far, so good here today. We'll go 4 for 4 and put up a big number.
Yes, sir. And I love that. You got to have your own trading style. Like, I like mean reversion trades. I like trend trades, which means if a stock is trending better than something on my plan of action and it looks like a better trade, I want to move on over to it. Like Affirm, we didn't trade all day on Friday. We didn't really trade Affirm until it was a mean reversion at the end of the day. All day today, we didn't trade Affirm until it was holding that 49 level and then made that little bit of a bounce. So we take a couple of shots at it. Apple will be on all day. DJT is an example of like just take one shot on a mean reversion trade. I can go over to MSTR on the breakout. That was MSTR is a NASDAQ stock. There we go. We had one breakout set for MSTR right in here. It doesn't work. I get out of it right away. Not going to fight it. It just was not strong. It didn't even trend up after that. As a matter of fact, it was weak off of that level, so I'm not going to trade it again because it didn't set up. But you know what? Where do you find levels? Where do you find trading opportunities? Where do you hone your own style? Well, I'll give you an example of where you can over on eSignal, where you can trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to an elite trading experience, whether you're analyzing, strategizing, capitalizing, you want to be able to see the best opportunities in the market with their world-class customizable charts. You're talking about a wide array of tools, infinite data, instant trading. There's API connection if you want to automate strategies. You have the ability to do that. Another important facet, backtesting. Backtesting and scanning. If you develop a strategy, maybe it's buying dips off VWAP, maybe it's some sort of moving average cross, whatever it might be, don't just think it might work, backtest it, forward test it. Whatever scan you want to find symbols, breaking highs, relative volume, it's all in there for you. Reliable real-time data so that you have access to pretty much every single equity that you can think to trade out there for you on eSignal. And it's been reliable. Lots of traders use it. Have used it on this floor over the years. Everything you need all in one place here with eSignal. So if you are ready to elevate your trading, you can try a risk-free free test drive. Sign up at eSignal.com. Scan the QR code that you see right there in front of you. Click the link in the description. Fantastic platform. And again, charting, that's your window to the market. That and the level 2, obviously, where you get the real tape. But if you want to be able to use that history, price history, and information to develop strategies, eSignal, a fantastic opportunity to do so. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I've been using eSignal every day of my trading career. And no, Sebastian, there is no Katina indicator on there. But if you watch the show every day, there are Katina indicators every single day, which is why we try to be here every day, but not on this coming Friday again, as we will. Yeah, there it is. I mean, come on, man, there's only so much. I don't want to, you know, it is there, free every single day for everybody to check out again. Yes, it is free 99. Yeah. Don't worry. Fabian having a lot of fun right here again. So, hey, man, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone does have a fantastic Thanksgiving today. Make sure you do follow me on Instagram. Go follow at TraderTV Sean. Go follow the show all over the place. Google's going. Oh, man, no surprise there. This is a name that, again, really love this name. This is another one that's on the Katina indicator, which is the sticky note, of course. And that was there for 163 long. It only gets down as low as 164 today. Does not come into that area. I was looking for that support in and around the 50 period is 161.50, but there goes Google, man. I've already anointed this the next one to the upside. So for me, yeah, we'll see where it goes. But I think this is the one that's going to go up from here. I also like Amazon from these levels. And that's, obviously Apple's at the highs as well. We can have a quick look at Tesla. I think Tesla at these levels are actually pretty reasonable now because you sort of got that wash down. You actually get a nice one today as well. Wow, into 214. That's that same unbelievable. We talk about look, I'm up today and very comfortably up. We already talked about that. So, but that Tesla trade right there, like I'm really happy with what I was focusing on today because results don't lie. But neither does the chart. I mean, this just came right into that level of Friday, again, where we got bought up at 214, like almost like to the dollar, like 213.82 or something is the bottom there today. Off that bottom wick is 214.30s. So you're right there again today. So in my opinion, a huge missed opportunity to have not looked at least at Tesla. But I'm not going to sit here and complain. You can't have everything. I mean, I'm also a little bit mad about Coinbase because this is another name here with Bitcoin now above 66,000. This could have been on the radar and wasn't, breaking up through now 12% to the upside. But like I said, I have to be really happy with the performance here. And we'll definitely shine on with tomorrow and see if we can get some more trades there. Nvidia, so all that we've put on here in the afternoon for you so far has been, we got out of Sofi there by accident right there. I'm still waiting for this to break. It looks like we almost broke it. I think now we can probably, I'm going to cancel that break now. Again, not going to give the good money here. Throw bad money after good. I don't know how you say that.
Good money at bad. Because good money is the money you made, and then bad is
good money at bad. But I don't know if this is going to be bad or not. I don't know. Anyway,
it's 340.
Yeah, I don't know what the saying is. Anyway, so that's probably what it is. I'm not going to do it. So anyways, long story short, we'll wait for that trade to come through. So we didn't have any Palantir on this afternoon as well. That name's hovering around. I am still waiting for that XBI for a long-term play. Netflix is coming up their earnings, I believe, pretty soon.
Thursday, right?
I don't know. I just know it's soon. Netflix really looking good, man. I was going to say, looks like the NASDAQ poking its head right here on a 1-minute chart. This kind of looks like what Netflix has been doing, up at highs and trying to take it out. We just topped out at 735. It actually is down quite a bit now today, down that 1.17%. So I'm not sure what exactly is up with Netflix here today, but it is making that move down. I think this is a buy into, they have Squid Game 2 coming out, I think, at the end of the month. And that's going to be...
You watched that? It's really good.
Game 2 is not out yet.
No, have you seen the first one? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
we saw it when it happened.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about that one, but...
No, we did, man. We used to always talk about it. Remember Maggie, a girl that used to work here, dressed up as Squid Game.
So who was, someone here hadn't watched it, it was someone else.
I don't know, probably Sharif. He was watching Boy Meets World.
It might have been Sharif, actually. When you were talking about the big cap tech names, I wanted to quickly, there was one name that I wanted to mention, very good hold of the 50 and 200 on Microsoft today. So it's been a while since I've really taken a deep look at Microsoft as a day trade, but when I pulled it up, you have outside of the August 5th bottom, which for a lot of reasons, that's an outlier event. When you had that wipeout low on whatever, everyone was panicking, everyone thought we'd go limit down that day. But if you take that out, which sometimes those things don't matter, look at the trend that it actually held. Multiple higher lows. Now both the 50 and the 200 are at the exact same price. That's an SMA and a potential breakout above 420. It tried to break it out today, got all the way up to 424, but look at it hold the 420 level. So resistance, there's a local wipeout bottom, which held that trend line, and then now potential move higher. Just needs to hold on to the 420 level. I think that's going to be key. If it breaks out the top through 25, I think it looks like a very good swing long. I mean, it's probably a trade that day too. If it breaks a 425 break, I guess a day trade is going to make a little bit of sense there on them. Yeah, Netflix does report on Thursday, so they are upcoming. I don't know why it's so far down today. I didn't see anything specifically on it. There wasn't any downgrades that I was aware of. Maybe just some profit taking going into earnings. Kind of running out of room for this to go on Affirm. So, like I said, it moved more on Friday than it did today. And I just flatted Mara. I have a rule. What's weird is that it was, I had this discussion with Arun, and he was like, oh, you should hang on to things. And I was, if it's not moving, I would always say if it's not moving in the afternoon, then it's not giving you what you look for, then just get out of the trade. We talk about that with the Chinese ADRs all the time. He'd say, oh, if it hasn't broken your stop, just hold on to it. Like, that makes sense early in the day because you have all day for it to go. But if it doesn't make sense at the end of the day when you have to be flat at the end of the day. If it's not giving you a big move, when you're expecting a wide range and it's giving you no range, then sometimes you just got to get the you-know-what out of Dodge. So we'll jump out of that trade. Again, it just does not go very far. It was a good long earlier today, but not so much. So another lower high topping tail candle in Affirm. gets me more out here. It just feels like it's now making lower highs back into 49. If it loses this 49.15, I'll jump out of it altogether. And obviously, at this point, I'm not going to be getting into Peloton. I think it's, it won't break 550. It doesn't really dip down into 535. This seemed like it was going to be the one that consolidated higher, took out the top, and then made another parabolic move. But 546, the high here on Peloton. No break of said high at all, unfortunately. Maurice saying Micron is blasting. Yeah, maybe. I feel like, ARM was a lot stronger than Micron. That's making a good move. Micron on the daily, 115. Like when it gets through that one, I like Micron. We were talking about that. I know it was someone I was asking about some swing trade ideas on that. And it looked really, really good. It was off that 100 level, so congratulations. We were mentioning that last week. A couple of people were in that. Yeah, pretty strong day for Micron, up 1.5%. It does stand out that Micron, 1.5%. Intel, I trailed out of it. Intel's still red on the day, by the way. It's 0.25% to the downside. I trailed out of the long. It never really set up that reversal short, so we didn't take it. But Intel, once again, $23.30. There's something about that. Maybe it's the quarter, maybe it's the third. On Friday, I don't think it was a clean breakout price. 2050 was a level that you had to have on Friday, but it's that same 23.30. I guess if I show you on a 15-minute chart, it looks even better. It's just every single time it gets there, there's some gravity around that price. See it hang around, support, resistance. Today, it just bounced off that level. If it can hold again, maybe we get another up leg here in Intel. But a weekday today, I was looking for that 24 to break out. Doesn't look like it wants to happen either. MSTR, ATC killer. MSTR, that micro strategy, still no bid. It didn't actually get to $200, but it's not exactly doing any kind of a reversal. This gets back to 189 where this thing broke out from. If it broke out that way, tomorrow if you see that, it does seem like that would be a long opportunity. MicroStrategy really taking it on the chin today and not really showing signs of slowing down. So Coinbase to the upside, Mara kind of in the middle, and MSTR all the way to the bottom. Yeah, tomorrow 189, 190. We were just breaking that out on Friday, and then it was a big time level. I feel like if you get there again, it's probably tradable tomorrow.
Riven Millionaire, man, thank you so much for bringing that up. He remembers me talking about Mara being a good buy at $13. I'm saying, all of us, I don't even really take credit for stuff like that because, a lot of us can say whatever we want until we actually do it. I'm not long Mara, but I do thank you for all that. And until that, we're just talking heads at the end of the day, looking at different stock and giving you guys what we think. The only way that we can prove what we actually trade is by telling you, posting it, and that's what we're doing right here. So thank you so much for that, Rivian Millionaire. It does actually mean a lot that you bring that up. So thank you for that. All right, so we got out some more. We're pretty light now. We're trading maybe 5% left of what we would normally have on an Nvidia trade. Right now, we got some out there at 90s and then again at 80s when we broke lower. I think that was actually 89. Yeah, an 89 and then an 80 fill right there as we're getting lighter and lighter on this trade, heading into imbalances, which are now 2 minutes away. Big day alert, right? We've already talked about that. I don't know how else to do it. We talked about trying to put some sort of a scoreboard up, but just we get pushback. I don't know. I'd like to do that, but we'll wait to see if we can get a little bit better on something for you. But right now, FXI, good stock. We talked about that. We just took another bid there at 70s. We'll see if we can get that back lower now. But with only a minute and a half left, there's not much left to do other than wait. So I'm going to wait to see what happens with those imbalances. I just want to thank everybody for watching. I know, everyone's saying Google ripping. I love this stock. I'm not going to buy any more of it. It still is the largest holding for myself, although it's getting, Palantir is something else right now. To the upside, I'm ogling it. Yes, that's right, Fabian. I'm ogling this stock. I'm going to be ogling this stock forever, just holding it forever. And that's going to be Google. I think we get back to 190 by year end. I don't even think that's a question. I'm starting to get I don't think SMR is the next Palantir or anything. I definitely don't know enough about SMR at all to call it that. But I really like this stock, and I wish we had gotten more down here. It's a relatively new name coming through, just IPO'd. You'll see. I don't even know what price IPO'd at. Michael Noss and Brian Shannon brought this to our attention a couple times here. I think it was back in SMR? No. This stock,
that's not,
when is No, it doesn't go all the way back. When is this? October, what? 2022? Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I need a weekly chart to make this thing look a little bit better, but there, stop it.
You know what? I have it up.
How far does it go? No, okay, there it is. So it's stopping right now. Okay, I just want to find the date of when it came out. So you're still down from IPO. So that's the other thing, right? So SMR IPOs in around 10, 10.50, gets going up to 16, and then this happens. So, you know, I don't know enough about it to be like, hey, man, we're layering into this name. Not the same way about Palantir. But, you know, this kind of hold down here at the 200, then it go like that. That is fantastic, and we'll wait to see here. We're already nicely in the money, but I like this stock, especially if we can break 16. It is a buyout candidate as well. Okay, we are now out with those imbalances. So we'll quickly have a quick look here. I don't really see anything. Nvidia with a sell. So there it goes. Good thing we're getting lighter on that one, as there comes Nvidia right back in. So that's going to be the biggest sell. So is Affirm, downside as well with the sell. So the market's just heading lower. I think it's a good buy opportunity.
So I just, like I said, tighten up the stop on Affirm. Some of it had to do with the fact that it was stalling at 49.5 anyways, and the rest was the fact that 350 was coming in. So it's only 900,000 to sell. I mean, Affirm's done 15 million shares at the end of the day. So I'm going to jump out, but I was trailing it to here regardless of the imbalances. It's just a coincidence. Nvidia 1.7 and Affirm are the only two out there of any reasonable size, because this GRTS or GRTS, that's a 5-cent stock that has 2 million. So completely insignificant on that one. I don't think it's even worth looking at it.
No.
Tesla in here is trying to bounce. It's actually bouncing pretty decently off of VWAP, but no break at the 220 level. We tried, I had a long going into 220, but it was in the middle of the day here, like at lunchtime actually. Tried to long it into the 220 level. There was one tiny little break, and then it failed it. Tesla now 2 days in a row, Sean was mentioning, off the 214, and it's got the 225 lined up on the 50 period. Still think that's going to be a breakout trade if and when it does get there. That 225, I could see it this week. Obviously, a lot can happen in a couple of days. $5 move for Tesla. I could gap half of that tomorrow, and then you're breaking out that 225. Would have liked it for a breakout trade today, but you know, Tesla just didn't have the strength on it at all. Tom H, I've seen a few people ask about HIMS in the chat. HIMS, of course, the GLP name. It did make a pretty large move this afternoon and has another gap up and holding the $20 level. So this one probably should be on the radar a little bit more. I don't think I've even looked at it since maybe a week and a half ago whenever I put that trend line in. I think it was like on the, when was that, the 3rd or the 4th of the month. So I haven't really paid too much attention to the stock. But yeah, it's breaking out on the daily past that 20, and it's got room to run. Fill in a little bit more of the gap here at $22. So yeah, HIM's another one, up 9.5 points today, looking pretty strong. C8 Turbo Beaver, I like that. Tesla 3-day rule.
Yep.
It's been 2 off of that bottom. You get one more day, you break out the 225. It's got confluence because it's a 50 period on the daily. I always like when there's more than one reason why you like a price. It's the quarters, it was prior support, it's the 50 period on the daily, it was resistance on the day after the event, I should say. And then don't forget, they trapped some longs because on the Thursday night, when they did have that event, it was all the way up at $252. You had traders at Real Trading that were going long 240 into 250 the whole time, and they gapped it back down. Yeah, when people talk about the markets being a little bit manipulated, one of the things you can do is, well, if you think about it, it doesn't take a lot of volume in the aftermarket to prop a stock up. So you can do a small amount of buying in the aftermarket to make something look strong for the opportunity to then you're just dumping it essentially. And then you get a bunch of retail joining. You do a little bit of buying, retail joins you, and then they break it up over 50 when the whole time you're actually selling it, you just had part in the initial breakout. And then, of course, it gaps down overnight. So Tesla, the 225 looks like a potential break back out. But I really think when we have the election, Blue Ocean is going to go nuts trading DJT that night. I think that's going to be the big overnight opportunity. It'll dwarf what happened in Tesla, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you must be paying attention, CA Turbo there. We talked about that earlier because someone asked me, why am I not trading Tesla? Why is it not on the sticky note? And I said, 3-day rule. And that was just the fact that I don't want to trade it until it settles down a little bit from that. So good look there, good explanation over there with Neil. So, all right, Nvidia fell down. We got out of that. And really, I mean, we talked about the level that would hit it. We gave back I was going to say 8% or something like that of what we were up on the day for Nvidia on that drop down. So it does suck. But again, when you're playing with fire, you're playing with fire, right? And we talk about not being in. So that's why we had, I don't know what we had, a very small amount left of that stock. So we're pretty happy with the end result here at the end of the day on that. So yeah, so far so good. We'll just continue to watch the stocks and see where we go from here. So yeah, it's been a good day. Just waiting to see where it all settles out. Our FXI trade is the only thing that we have left on right now, and it's not doing much. If it breaks 75, we will trigger out and automatically hit out. So that'll be a trade that we wind up getting out on here. It's 355 now. Wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia flips over on the imbalances, but it's not doing anything. TLT
did flip, didn't it?
with the nice little buy. No, still a sell, Nvidia.
Oh.
So yeah, came out a sell. Looks like it's going to be a sell still into the close. So we'll pay attention to that one with Nvidia. But so right now, downside moves coming here in the market to close out the day. So yeah, congratulations anybody who was holding on to that short. Looks like you got paid off there. FXI, good moves, but not doing anything as expected sort of into the close. You guys know we talk about this all the time into that close. So what was a pretty good day overall, guys. I hope you're also having a good day, but join us tomorrow no matter what here. I know you're back to work. A lot of you Canadians, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there today as well. I hope it was a profitable one. It was definitely worth coming in over on this side. So far, so good, guys. Let's go. Neil, just a couple more words, and you got this after show to go.
Yeah, and look, obviously, there was a sell imbalance on Affirm. We had a trail out idea, Affirm going higher again. So, but you got to get out. Ultimately, you don't know. It did pair off to zero. I didn't see if it went from a sell to a buy. But at 55, obviously that sell imbalance pairs off and you get a shot to the upside. This is why we always talk about at 355. Regardless of what the imbalance is, you might want to have a look at it after 355 in case it does flip. Sometimes you can get a little bit of a move. As we know, that's the case through our experience. And that's why we try to give you guys that knowledge, right? Because if you're sitting in a trade and it doesn't break your stop, and then 55, you want to look for that move. If it doesn't happen after then, maybe it's a good opportunity to jump out. So Canadian Thanksgiving was a fun one. I'm going to be heading on up to this. We have Michael Moss in the aftermarket show tonight in the market recap. No earnings to get to, so we'll be able to go over the markets, go over the trade, maybe some questions that you guys might have. But look at that, coming up, the closing
Good job,
bell.
Tony Price.
I like that. In 2.5 minutes or so. I'm going to get onto the desk. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if you have anything.
Bills tonight, man.
Well,
apparently they need it, man. I'm telling you what.
I don't even want to talk about that line. That line is ridiculous. Sometimes Vegas gets it wrong.
Oh yeah, they do.
Even odds? Come on. I mean, the Bills are going to run over the Jets tonight.
I
We're good.
thought so. Anyway.
We're good. We got them.
You guys got it. What's up, Tony Price? Good job, man. I mean, that 6,500 is more than, that should be good for the week. So some good trades there today. I'm glad for you, Tony. What stock did you trade there, Tony, today? Maybe you can share with us as we get ready. I'm done. Put your hands up in the air. Thank you to everybody again. Happy Thanksgiving. Go find it at Twitter. I put out, my wife put out a nice little note there for everybody. I made a nice little graphic and I tweeted it out there. Stocks and stocking stuffers, or no, that would be Christmas stuffing. Right there. Enjoy your stuffing. It's been, again, a little bit of a volatile day just here into the close. It was pretty quiet all the way before this last little 10 minutes hit. And again, those are the imbalances. So once those NASDAQ imbalances came out and we saw Nvidia to the sell side, we started to go downside. And Nvidia's going to close at not a great level, man. It's going to close at 138. And again, a lot of that, it's still, look, man, Nvidia's still up 2.5%, so it's still a good day. But this started it here with this imbalance locator. So we are cruising. We got out of most of it. That's why you get out. I don't see it on here anymore. Potentially a little retracement back in, but Nvidia losing $1 here into the close. What's Apple doing right now into the close? Wow, Apple. We loving that stock. I cannot believe I sold some at 225. Crazy to do that. I'm not doing that again. That is for sure. I'm not selling any of my tech names. I think we are in a serious bull market that's basically just getting started. You're going to see the earnings season is so depressed. You're going to see some big earnings coming through. Trust me on that one, or don't. That is my opinion. There goes Apple right now. Tesla right now. Brendo, you want to get on that bell because otherwise it'd be nobody. All right, here we go with only now 50 seconds to go right now. Tesla 219 looks like we'll get a good close in for that one. Other than that, not much else on here. XOM 125, wicked close there for XOM again today. So nice upside move there. I don't know what else you guys want to watch. FXI, we got stopped out. That was a banger there into the close, man. We could see what Palantir, whoa, that goes red. Palantir again. So this will be a 4 for 4 day. We're really happy. It'll be a good one, but we'll put on some more tomorrow, and then more after the day after that, and the day after that. And as long as you guys come back, we will be here. The countdown is now on with only 10 seconds to go. Today's countdown brought to you by Brendan Wickens. Hey, Brendan, how's it going with only 4, 3, 2, and 1? Yes, sir. There it goes. That is your bell. Thank you, Brendan. That closing bell brought to you by Real Trading. Right there. Your future awaits. Get a part of Real Trading today. Thank you again, Andre, for coming in today. Fabian, Brendo there on the bell. Sharif, Joe with a great midday as well. And of course, Neil, you're going to have Neil in a couple seconds. We welcome Michael Noss as well tonight. So you got Michael in the morning. You're getting him here in the afternoon. All right, it's 4 o'clock. I'm off to a rink. My wife just sent me this wicked video my kids were doing. You know those things where they have the ropes and they go like that and the ropes go, I don't know what that's called, Brendan, where you swing those ropes. Any idea? Who knows? Anyways, that was really awesome. Still be tired tonight. I appreciate that. We'll go see what's going on now. For everybody out there, a big happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Trader TV Live and Real Trading. So thank you again. Let's go over to the big desk. It's a market recap. We'll go over some trades. No earnings, but banks. Banks keep coming, man. This is going to be a big week. Procter & Gamble, Netflix, everything on the lookout as well. XBI, I really, really like that. And a new video, what? Trading with VWAP? That's a new video. Oh, ready when you are. That sounds nothing like trading with VWAP. All right, so I'm ready, and so are you guys. It's Neil on the Recap Show. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, Sean. There, I don't know. I can see how it's intonation of ready when you are trading off VWAP. Because if you have trading on the brain, I can see how you might misconstrue that, but it is what it is. VWAP's a great level to trade off of. We'll definitely get to XBI because there's a lot to a lot to decompress here in this market move to the upside. As strong as everything was, as strong as a lot of things, where I shouldn't say everything, there was a heck of a lot that was weak. We're going to have Michael Noss come in, so that'll give us an opportunity to talk about the Widowmaker. That would be UNG today. Not necessarily as good there. I forget, I felt like those are like the battle rope things that Sean was talking about. They're absolutely fantastic for core. I can see why hockey players would be all over that one. Great core exercise. One of the cool things that I think for hockey players is that whole duck under the rope like a boxer would do, because then you get that side-to-side action, you get sink down in your hips. In terms of sinking down, there wasn't a lot of sinking down in SMH or in general the chips. Now, not all chips went up. I get it. Don't at me. It wasn't the best day in the world for Intel. They were actually red on the session. But remember that break we were talking about last week over there on SMH. The clean breakout does happen. You got to the level without breaking it. You have now broken out on the daily here. Well, I mean, not broken out to highs, but you've broken out the resistance here on SMH. So we had the 50 period hold after double barrel bounces off the 200 period. And now you've got the local high break, the run into this, I guess, 52-week high into 280. Looks like the next step in tow. You're not getting there without what happened in a couple of big names in there on Nvidia, which is now essentially at that all-time high. I mean, you're close enough to it that you can say you're basically at the last step till you get to it. Last resistance was the 135. That was I want to say it was a fail breakout on Friday. For those of you, I understand why thered be an argument to say, well, it wasn't a failed breakout. It got from 135 to 135.80. But the way I see it, it closed back underneath that 135, and it was more of a continuation play. So everybody that took the 135 long and scalped it made money on it. However, if you took that breakout and held it all day, you didn't actually make money on Friday. That's another reason why for breakout trades, you want to make sure it actually goes. So strong move for Nvidia, but they were not alone. ARM with a big move off the daily. Count them up. It's been super strong since it bounced off the 50 period, took out the 150 mark, and now it seems like this is another one turning 7% to the upside was ARM, with the 170 level just seeming like an inevitability at this point. ARM is one of those stocks. It didn't take very long for it to get from 190 to 100, and on the way back up, it's taking a little bit extra time, but today it sped things up just a little bit to be the leader in the semiconductor market there. Great name, ARM, up $10 today, up almost 7%. Hey, have a look-see at ARC. Catching a bit of a bid today. Now, obviously, I wouldn't argue that these guys, whatever, I wouldn't argue that ARC is in the best technical sense or range here, but what it is attempting to do, wipe out bottom through 40, hey, I can't point out these descending highs into a wedge and like them as breakouts in other places and not acknowledge what's happening here in the ARC Innovation ETF. You go right into December 2023 tops, lower high, couple of lower highs. This is about to break out that top here in ARC. So this is one that needs to be on the radar, I think. If we do break out this 48 level, that's the kind of level that you like to see. Allow it to actually give you that top break. This is something we keep talking about with Bitcoin. And maybe it's something we'll mention when Michael Noss comes on here in about 10 minutes or so. Look, BTC had the same thing. If you have a descending wedge, it's the same thing as a breakout level. It can hit that top 3, 4, 5 times. Well, wait for it to break the level if you want to make a breakout trade. Now, if you want to get into ARC when it's breaking out, then let it break out this channel. It's a pretty clean one and a trend line as far as I can see here. So I think it's worth watching on ARKK. Individual names in there. Obviously, Tesla didn't really do all that well overall for their holdings, but they did buy up some Palantir and did pretty well with those and Kathy. The Qs, not yet, but we're getting there. I think a couple more days, and you're going to be testing that all-time high. Maybe, probably a couple more days. I don't think you have too much of a chance to see that 504 tomorrow. It's possible. I feel like a consolidation day could make a lot of sense there. Netflix earnings later on in the week as well. But the Qs, trying to test that top. You're in a bull market. You buy the 200 period. You consolidate off to 50. You eventually get back to the highs. That's just what you do. Big shout out to both Raider Trader, and of course, when we had Chris Brecher, they both liked IWM. IWM, the trend is pretty obvious here. When you're in a bull market moves sometimes get really, really simplistic. You buy stocks on dips into obvious areas. It's a good reason why I want to see maybe a retest of that 50 period on Amazon after it closed. Amazon closed at the lows today. So the way I see it, if it's weak, get us to the 50 period and we just buy it on the 50 period moving average at $180 on Amazon. I'd like for it to get there. I don't root for stocks to go down, but if you want to buy dips, you can do a heck of a lot worse than those moving averages. And I'm talking about a simple moving average here on the daily. So IWM bounces off of its, and you're getting pretty darn close to this 225 top. There was a huge rejection of this level. I'm pretty sure that was on the, I think it was on a Fed day. We might have rejected that 225 break, but 225, there was a huge rejection off that level. Now it's obvious resistance. I feel like that's the next place to go. Breakout over 225, and all you know what can break loose on the IWM. Russell doing very, very well. Not all good, although we will talk about XBI before I get to the bad here. XBI now above that 50 period moving average. I'm pretty sure, it is what it is, right? Like, the last time, a couple of weeks ago when I was bringing this one up, I thought the 200 period was going to be a buy zone on it. So there was never a place for me to get in. I was also looking at buying some Pfizer that I never got into. That just didn't set up for it. But above the 50 period moving average, I know this is one on a swing basis that a couple of our guests were talking about. Sean also wanted to get into it. I like that 200 a little better when I looked at it on the higher time frame. But strong move, closing for a second time above that 50 period moving average. So confirmation of the bounce here in XBI. All right, the Widowmaker. Look, UNG doing UNG things, which is tricking people into thinking it's going to be a long and then going to the downside. So on the way up, there's your hold of the 50, gets right to the 200 period, and then on a dime comes back in. It tries to bounce today off that 50 period moving average. Sorry, it tried to bounce on Friday, held up, and now you just essentially gap right back underneath. So it gave you the trade, step one to step two. It's the follow through that the Widowmaker just could not seem to do here today. Unfortunately, not a very good day for energy in a general sense. I'm still not giving up on XLE, on USO just yet, but USO with a 2% down day, you're making lower highs, couldn't break the $80 level. It's actually XLE. This is the one that I'm a little bit more interested in myself. I don't care that this just did the death cross, but it did a death cross, then broke out. XLE needs to bust this 95 level. So you had a decent consolidation type day here, doing a little better than USO. So I like it over USO for those reasons, but you need to make that next leg up. It's a pretty, the reverse head and shoulders, higher lows, hold the moving averages. The next step is to break it out. And if it can't do that soon, it might be time to ring a little register on XLE, because you can like a play buying off of support, but if it doesn't actually follow through, then it can be time to take some out. So a little bit, I'm not concerned about it. Like I said, it's doing better than USO. It's doing better than oil. You do get a little dividend in there as well. So I think it's worth it, at least a little bit of a shot there. I see Hertz Scrambler. How many points will the Bills score tonight? I'm hoping about 35 because I need a lot of fantasy points to win my matchup. So I'm hoping 35. I need the defense to get a touchdown, probably sack fumble on Aaron Rodgers. Wish all the best for his health, but I'm in the camp of I am rooting for Aaron Rodgers because he's a fellow Achilles tendon rupture survivor. So I like that about him. He's just going to lose badly tonight for sure. Matt C, before we get to Michael, I know he's going to be here and just like he might be even ready. Any levels on Novavax to watch? So we appreciate you there. Anytime, I have a rule about names that I think are squeeze names. So Novavax is a 24% short float. The days to cover is 5 days. That's not bad. We've looked at some ones that I think aren't just great at about 2 days to cover. 5's not bad at all. I don't think it's an egregious number. I think it'd be better if it was closer to double digits. But when I talk about levels, it's usually for a squeeze name levels that can break out. So in this case, it's got a bit of an ascending wedge that it's got going on here. Let me just quickly use the draw tool here on my trade ideas. So since it made this, since it made that wipeout bottom, what you kind of have is this trend, which lines up. You wipeout bottom, that if you ignore it, sometimes you do that with wipeout bottoms, you're holding this trend, and then you've got this new one that formed since you made this bottom, like up here. Let me just make sure I use the right drawing tool again. Then you've got this channel that it's forming. So I'm not support and resistance guy when it comes to squeeze names. Break out the top. Right now, that means it needs to close above about 1575 or so to break out this channel and make another move to the upside. And again, it's a squeeze name. So on squeeze names, I'm looking for breakouts. On value names, on names that I think are quality companies and I have a reason to believe so, I like to buy dips. If this was like insert stock like Apple or Amazon or something, I would buy it at the bottom of the channel. Novavax, I don't have a good reason to buy it off the bottom of the channel. It's a squeeze name, so you buy it when it breaks a sucker out. That's just my 2 cents on it. So good luck. Hopefully that helps. I just look at these in a certain way. Like how would I be looking for the trade? Take it easy, Sean. Have fun with the daughter tonight over at the rink. Let's get over to now, because I'm excited to talk about it. Here, so much to go over actually, but one of the things that we're able to talk about with Michael Noss is Yo Widowmaker, and that's why you take profits here. Let's get some trader talk here with the Noss boss. Michael, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. We get you twice on a holiday. Want to thank you for stopping on by through on Canadian Thanksgiving, where I know most of us, whether you had I had roast beef or maybe you had a little bit of turkey yesterday or going to do so today, you might feel a little bit heavier today. But lots of trading opportunities on this Monday, though.
Yeah, moving a little slow, that's for sure. But that's fine because the market, even though we're hitting new all-time highs, was also moving a little slow. I think it's a bank holiday or something as well, so that may have had something to do with it. But yeah, feeling good, feeling full, looking for more trades.
Absolutely. So obviously this morning, I know you're talking a lot about the metals, and I do want to get to them, with specifically copper, because I know there's a lot of our viewers that are interested in FXI, Freeport up there. After we had the moves in China, clearly it's a demand thing for them. But I wanted to go over UNG for a lot of reasons here, because I feel like we always talk about taking profit and sometimes the trade is the trade, and it is what it gives you. And you can't always just like, oh, it's starting to work, it's going to go forever. I've got this one at the bottom. And UNG is a perfect example of that. Now, you had a setup on this that went to your target. You took it. When we talked about it on Friday, it's like it could have set back up off the 50-period moving average. I'm going to make the assumption, because it didn't today, that there was no entry for you on this name on UNG. Now, do you have any thoughts on this going forward, or was this going to be a one and done?
I think it's broken for now, and unless it does more UNG things like erase this loss and gap up over 15 tomorrow. I have the chart up here, so I can just quickly highlight to the people what we were talking about. But yes, we had this this prior break of support right here at $14. Didn't spend too much time below it, so as it was getting back up through that $14, I wanted to get involved. Like Neil was talking about, ran smack into this 200-day moving average and then just rejected from it. So I got trailed for a little bit of a winner there. But you're right. That's why you have to. I think there's two very harmful sayings in trading that I absolutely hate. And one is the buy low, sell high, right? We know that that's wrong. It's a buy high, sell higher generally does way better. And then the other one is the whole winners take care of themselves. And it's absolutely no, they don't, right? This could have been a very bad trade for someone asleep at the wheel. But it did give a lot of signs that, hey, it's respecting this 200-day moving average. It's time to move away. The only time I'm going to revisit this now is if we, reverse, get back above this line right here and start to challenge through that 200-day moving average. Because when I took the trade back here, there was a lot of space up to the 200-day moving average that's acted as resistance for a couple times. And now there's a little bit less room on that last one. So if we were to move up now, there's almost no room. So I needed to get through at this point and start moving higher. So I think I'm kind of moving on from this one for at least a little bit.
You know what? It's interesting you say that. I like the fact that when you first took it, the space to the 200-period moving average was much bigger, which can mean you have a little bit bigger of an upside target. No, I hate those sayings too. On my very first day of training as a trainee on the prop floor, this was 2003, I think it was. It was the very first day. One of the things that was said was buy high, sell higher. Like, don't get into this buy low, sell high nonsense. Thinking you're always going to get the bottom is a bad way to go. Buy high, sell higher means you're joining the trend, means you're going with the trend, and that's what a trader should always try to do. I will point this out on UNG, though. The golden cross on this and the death cross actually have been pretty sick indicators, and it's only happened a couple times. That 200 period is not a joke. It's clearly been resisting it, but there's a golden cross, and look at the move up. And there's a death cross, and look at the death on it when that happens. So I think sometimes you wait for something specific or something big to happen. I think that 200 could be a good look. But let's talk a little bit about some of these metal names here, Michael, because specifically Freeport FCX is a name that is forming one of those channels that I love for a breakout, and I begrudgingly had to point out the same channel on FCX. ARC is doing the same thing. It's like, you can't, that nice little descending bull flag where you can break out the top. Bitcoin's got a daily chart that looks like that. There's a few names in the copper space that are looking like that right now. What do you like, Michael?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with, and I have just marked up here, XME, which is the metals and miners ETF. So this is where I got the idea from. You can see here on Trade Ideas, and we show this all the time, ETF sorted by what's doing well and what's doing poorly on the day. And this is one of my major things I do every weekend is I sort what did the best over the last week. And then I go through that list. And XME really stood out as this 65-50 area being an area of resistance. We've hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. So I'm looking to see if we're finally going to get through this. Now, this is going to have a couple different ETFs in it, or a couple different sectors in it. And one is steel. So we could take a look at SLX, and that's butting up near all-time highs here. And then copper, I don't think we actually have a proper copper ETF anymore, but we have COPX, which is the copper miners ETF, respecting the 200-day moving average, getting close to highs. So there's a couple different ways to play this. Now, the ETFs, again, I don't know, as I get older and older, these ETFs make more and more sense because there's more of them and you can get more granular in your positions. I think that's one way to do it. I actually really liked the action in FCX today. The issue with that is that we have these earnings. And what I say that I like the action in this one today is because it gapped down. I'm going to zoom like real close in this candle. It gapped down, but there's like no bottom wick. So that means buyers came in immediately on this name and just pushed this one back up. And it's setting up a little bit of a potential bull flag look here on FCX. So this one's kind of interesting to me that this one potentially could get going if it does. And I like every time, again, gap down and buyers came in right off the open and bought it up all day. So I think that'd be a good one to look for. Problem is, with a lot of these names, we have earnings coming up very, very soon. So we just have to be careful of that. So for me, it's an if-then scenario. If XME breaks out, I'm going to be looking at that breakout and trying to pick out what the strongest looking one is at the time to buy that one. The one I brought to you guys this morning, which was in this ETF, and I actually picked some up today, was this coal miner. So Warrior Met Coal. I bought that as it broke through that 64.50 area that we were talking about before. Stop, absolute worst case, $60. See if this one gets going. So coal, maybe it's not at a favor yet. You think this stuff's getting phased out, but then you look at a chart like this, upward sloping 200-day moving average, making new highs. Maybe it's got some more legs in it.
So just quickly, question for you, and because you mentioned earnings, this Warrior Met, they report in 2 weeks. FCX, which you said looks interesting as well, they report in 1 week. Now, when you take swing trades, do you look at your average, how long do I usually hold these, or how long do they usually work, and then say, okay, well, 1 week is too close to the earnings, but 2 weeks is fine? Is that, obviously it's a difference, but is that the idea?
Yeah, it's a lot of that, and it's a lot of, if I'm right, how much room do I have for my entry point for the stock to move? So if I'm right on HCC and this thing has 2 weeks to get up to $70, well, then I'll be okay holding a little bit, because then we're all the way up here and my entry's down here. And that just gives me a little comfort, a little room to say, okay, I'm going to hold this one. And then really, I think it comes down to the stock itself. Something like a biotech name or a high-tech growth name. There's no way I'm holding that into earnings unless I'm up really, really big on the position. Something like this, I'm a little bit more comfortable with it because I don't think that these companies do a lot of these surprises one way or another. So you're probably going to get a 5 or 6% gap one way or the other. So if I'm up way more than that, then I'll take that out. And I just don't think FCX has enough time to give me, if I'm right, to give me that wiggle room that I'd be comfortable holding it into earnings.
Okay, that's a fantastic answer. Just want to make sure the viewers got it, because it's easy enough to assume that. But hey, you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you and me. This morning, we're talking a little bit about, I think we at least mentioned SLV a little bit here, silver. So my concern with silver, everyone always talks about this being like very manipulated. But there's something that you mentioned a couple of weeks ago about buying things that it's historically better to buy things as they're going into highs as opposed to you're trying to buy on dips. This fits that bill. It's not making the run necessarily that gold did, but it does fit that bill of you have a pretty big resistance, obviously. It's trending into it, higher lows, above the 50, above the 200. Is this something that's on your radar? I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can't trade silver. It's the most manipulated metal there is. Oh, I think we might be having some technical difficulties. I don't know if Michael can hear me. We can't hear you right now, Michael. We'll try to get that fixed. Yeah, it looks like it might be your microphone there. Can you hear me, Michael? Not yet? All right, so it looks like we're having some technical difficulties here with Michael Noss. That's unfortunate because I really did want to hear his thoughts, and hopefully we'll be able to get that fixed. If we can't, we'll move on. But I wanted to hear his thoughts on silver. It obviously is one of the names that I think a lot of people have been looking at. In reference to, and what I was getting at, the difference between GLD here is one has been really participating in this break to the upside. And when you say, hey, how is it possible that GLD is doing this on the daily, which is leg after leg up, starting in the beginning of the year here? I mean, well, okay, the first quarter of the year when you got to that local high 220, and then we've just been making fresh highs after that. And then this whole time, SLV just can't seem to make the second push. I mean, we got in, what was this, in May, we got up to the 29.5 and you're still trying to break that top. I feel like it's almost like something is broken in silver. There's a big catch-up trade that I think can happen in it, which I think makes a lot of sense to me, but it is what it is. Bob Curran, you cannot, that can't be true. That drug stock is at 450? No, it can't be. That DRUG, and again, when I say that drug stock, it's literally DRUG. We were looking at this one intraday here. Let me just pop a 3-minute chart up here so I can leave the daily up. All the way to 350. You know what? Should have given this one more of a chance in the afternoon. I thought Affirm was going to be a bigger move than it was. It gave you 40, 50 cents when on Friday it was giving you dollar moves in the afternoon. And this DRUG, Bright Minds Biosciences, it actually held on to the $3 level aftermarket, now breaking up to 350. It broke out from $2 to almost $3. It gave you a dollar move. Wow. What a great one this year. Bright Minds Biosciences. Interestingly enough, remember we had this discussion, something Michael would say all the time. When looking at short float, 3% short float here, 6.5 days to cover. It's not as big a deal how big the short float is. It's relative to the actual volume that gets done. If every single trade was covering a short, how many days would it take to cover? If it's 1 or 2, that's not a big deal. When you start creeping toward those double digits, that is a bigger deal. So this is a name, because it doesn't do a heck of a lot of volume, and there's only 4.5 million shares outstanding, a small number of shares short can end up being a big deal for a squeeze. So shout out to Bright Minds Biosciences. I don't really know too much about them outside of the fact that it is a big time mover. Just try to keep in mind with these. No one ever went broke taking profits. The daily chart looks like this, and usually when it does, you might get a couple of days out of them. The follow through, if it doesn't get to that $4 level as referenced, and thank you very much for pointing that out, if it doesn't get to that $4 in the next couple of days, you could easily be right back. I never want to be buying these at tops. I think you want to try to hold on to something for the dream. I used to trade penny stocks back in the day, and because I did that when I first started as a prop trader, a lot of the first swing trades I was doing were in stocks that I was watching. So I would trade a lot of these, and I understood the concept that, hey, that first move that you get, you might get a little bit more after that, but you want to make sure you bank your profits. These charts usually look like this for a very good reason. I'm not bagging on the stock or anything. It's just how many times do we look at this and see it tries to get to 4, you're in day 1 at 150 or $2, you get 375 or something, it's almost a double up, but you're like, it didn't break 4, I'm holding through that. No. If it gets to 375, 380, that's good enough. And you should be more than happy to be able to take that. You guys let me know what else you might be looking at here. I'm sorry that we lost Michael there. Yeah, it looks like it was a bit of an internet connection thing. I'm sure all is well. Unfortunately, I'm glad he was able to come through on a holiday for us here, a holiday up here in Canada. We had him in the morning, we had him in the afternoon, but unfortunately, we were unable to get him back. And we'll see what happens with this small cap drug stock. I did want to finish a thought here that I didn't quite get a chance to on some of the crypto names. Because I think one thing that got lost in MicroStrategy's ridiculous move to the downside, Coinbase's ridiculous move to the upside, and I know I've been saying Mara at the 50 period has been a bit of a sell, but it did ultimately, and I was shorted at the end of the day. I'll also get that one out there. So yeah, and then the reason I was looking short off of it was just it was a rejection of VWAP, resistance in here, but on the daily chart here of Mara, it's now a close above the 50 period. Now it's done this recently, close above the 50, immediately rejected. If it gaps back underneath the 50 period, that's an easy short. But with Bitcoin holding 65, if this holds the 50 period tomorrow, I think we've got another leg up that could be incoming into this 200 period moving average on Mara. So yes, I was long to short in the afternoon, but it's holding that 50 period moving average. If it does so again, I've got to lean back into looking for the long trade there. It didn't make a heck of a lot of sense fundamentally why Bitcoin was so strong, and things like Coinbase. I mean, look at this sucker. This is the move that you want to have happen. Break the 50, get to 200. Simple. I cannot explain logically why MSTR was down so much, except for sometimes it's about where you've come from. And in the case of MicroStrategy, this was squeezing upside. Since bouncing off the 200 period, it essentially doubled up. So much bigger move than anything in the space, a much bigger move than spot Bitcoin prices. And to me, that's the explanation as to why you get a day like this on MSTR. So a healthy pullback on MSTR. The last time it had a big red day, the next day was huge, but it hasn't had a day like this in a while. I think you got to let this one settle down for a couple of days and then work off a level. The 190 made a lot of sense. That's what we broke out from. I think obviously these prior highs here are 183, 184. That's a good area to look for a buy, but let MSTR start to calm down in there. It is already 4:30. Shout out to everyone in there. You know what we do at this time. First off, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to the entire team. We had Fabian on the ones and twos by himself. Andre hard at work pretty much all day long. Shout out to Brendan. Adara was off today. So I want to give a big special thank you to Sharif, who helped me go through the watch list in the mornings. Not something I do on a regular basis, but when Adara is off, I got to be able to step in. It hurts my preparation. Thankfully, we're able to find some good levels on stocks. But a shout out to Sharif, because I wouldn't have got it done in time if it wasn't for his help. And a great day today by Joe. I mean, Joseph joining Sharif on the midday, doing a fantastic job, talking some options for you. Shout out to my main man, Sean, on the ones and twos with myself on the main desk. But you know what? Bears versus Bulls. Always have to thank you, the best moderator in all of YouTube. You do it every single day. You do it with class. You do it with smiles. You keep all of us together. You make sure we don't miss a beat. You make sure the community feels loved and respected and gets their voice heard every single day. We couldn't do that without you. And you're right about that, Bears versus Bulls. Traders stay late. So I want to first give a happy Thanksgiving to anybody in Canada. And then we're going to get into some roll call. What up, Tyrone Hamilton? Randy broke the high as well. We got Andrew Chow in the house. We got Tony Price. What up? Bora Hout. Kanye East. When the East is in the house. Oh, my God. Eric Chen. Jeffrey 69. Why not? Hurry in the chat. We got Chris J. Yatube 37. Ooh, Matt C. CompuCare team, you're here. Jeff Kim, what up? We got Bob Curran again. Andrew Chow again. Tyrone Hamilton. We got Mo. Ari Pages, shout out to you. Carl Gruen in the chat. Eric again. The Piper. We got Michael Spandafora. BGZ. Bazinga in the chat. Why not? Vancouver Canucks 64. Julie Beckwith, what up? West y'all 1. Zion Lala, that's right. Bills. The Bills make me want to shout, and they're going to make us shout tonight, that's for sure. Danny C in the chat. Michael Westrick, Jai Singh, Dalla Bill, Simon Van RIG. Yo from the Netherlands. Why not? Shout out to you from the Netherlands. Dave B, Easy Peasy, VLC, Blue Arrow, Mills, Donkey Trader in the house. Blue Arrow again, new high score. And Kirthi, hey to you. So shout out to everybody. We love you all. Try to get as many as we can. We always like to have a little bit of fun around here. But you know what? We get to do it all again tomorrow. And on top of that, we get to do it with some bank earnings. Because usually they report on Monday, but it was a bank holiday today. So of course they're not going to report on a bank holiday. So we're going to get some more earnings from the banks. Later on in the week, we're going to get Netflix. But you know what? It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We got semis to trade. You got crypto names to trade. You have anything and everything. Tesla with some big moves. And we'll do it all again tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8:30. We'll see you there because we're Trader TV Live, and we're here every day.